you, Chris, and welcome to Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia, where college football is in the air as ESPN proudly presents its 7th season of Thursday Night Football. From the SEC West come the number 18 Auburn Tigers under Terry Bowden. It's a veteran group who will rely heavily on its experience and leadership as expectations are high on the Plains for '97. The Virginia Cavaliers, coached by George Welsh, have put together 10 consecutive winning seasons. For that streak to continue, youth must rise to the occasion in 1997. There are the Auburn Tigers coming off back-to-back 8-4 seasons. They are loaded with veterans at nearly every position. And the Virginia Cavaliers, 7-5 a year ago with only 8 starters back, and yet they are quite optimistic here in Charlottesville. Back with Auburn and Virginia from Scott Stadium right after this.
Mike Ditka for 1-800-COLLECT.
Hey, come on, ladies! Hey, get mad! Make believe I just installed your mama. Or make believe I just traded you. Make believe I just called you collect without using 1-800-COLLECT.
Hey, he could have saved us up to 44% with 1-800-COLLECT.
Whoa! Stop, guys! I was only kidding. Stop!
1-800-COLLECT, save up to 44%.
What the world needs is more mirrors. More mirrors to take in your arms, legs, pecs, and tracts. Look, is the mirror asking for more? GNC's Pro Performance Weight Gainer 1850. 1,850 calories with protein and amino acids and vitamins. Calories that give the mirror what it wants. Low-fat Pro Performance Weight Gainer 1850. Exclusively at General Nutrition Centers. GNC. Live well.
Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, where Auburn will face Virginia before a sellout crowd of 45,000 to see both teams open their '97 season. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Mike Gottfried. It's great to have you with us. Auburn is a team loaded with veterans, and most importantly, their quarterback, Damian Craig, is one of those veterans.
Mike, it's Damian Craig's time. He's a winner. He's an excellent passer, and it's time. 2 state championships in high school in Mobile Blunt High School. He's a touch passer. He has very good accuracy down the field. Here you see him scrambling, throwing the ball off balance, and you see the strength of his arm. But I think what you'll see him do more of this year, tuck the football in and run the football when the opportunity exists.
Virginia's Aaron Brooks is a lot farther down the experience scale, but he sure does have a great receiver to throw it to, and that's Jermaine Crowell.
Jermaine Crowell, 6'5". He's like Herman Moore, the Virginia receiver that here several years ago. When you look at his last 7 games, he caught fire. 6'5". You see him go against one of the better secondaries in the country last year, North Carolina, and you look for Auburn to be in that kind of situation. I figure they're going to double him tonight.
We'll be joined, as always, tonight by Dr. Jerry Punch, working the sidelines. Let's check in with him right now.
Thanks, Mike, and hello, everybody. You know, never in his 16-year history as head coach of the Virginia Cavaliers has George Welsh had to replace so many starters. That's why one of the key matchups tonight will be up front, where the extremely inexperienced and athletic Cavalier offensive front will somehow try to slow down a veteran and extremely quick Auburn defensive front. You know, Cavalier quarterback Aaron Brooks is extremely mobile. He likes to tuck it and run when he wants to, as evidenced by his impressive performance last year in the Carquest Bowl when he ran for 60 yards against a very good Miami defense. The only problem is tonight he may have to tuck it and run a little more often than he would like. Mike.
George Welsh beginning his 16th year in Charlottesville as the first ACC coach to win over 100 games. And Terry Bowden starting his 5th year with the Tigers, a sparkling 36-9-1 record. He won his first 20 games. Virginia won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. Auburn will receive, and John Allen Roberts will kick it away to Marquise Cooper. And we are underway in Charlottesville. Cooper to the 20-yard line. Here are the Everstart Battery starting lineups for Auburn. Damian Craig leads the offense as a passer and runner, third in the SEC in total offense last year. The Tigers' leading receiver, junior Karsten Bailey, who had a team-high 45 catches in '96. The least experienced group, the offensive line, but Victor Riley, the only senior, talented enough to be a preseason All-American.
Mike, I look for Auburn to take some chances tonight. Opening game, you got a veteran quarterback in Damian Craig, so I look for him to open it up.
And Cooper, the speed burner, starts at tailback. Trouble with the snap. Craig in trouble, back at his 5. And he'll be sacked at the 5. Travis Griffith gets the sack. But that looked like it was all nerves on the part of Damian Craig.
Well, remember, Mike, T.J. Dunnigan has moved from tight end and defensive lineman to be the center. So you figure that they've worked together for the last 2 weeks, but a little nervous starting off the ball game. Wale Rayner makes the play on Damian Craig along with Travis Griffith.
What a tough spot to be in. First play, you lose 15 yards. Second and 30. Make it a 20-yard loss back at the 5. They'll keep it on the ground to Beasley to get some breathing room. The Virginia defense up front, Antonio Dingle, one of 3 excellent tackles at junior. He's a preseason All-ACC pick. The linebacking core hit hard by the NFL draft, but Wale Rayner, last year's second leading tackle, is back in the middle. And Anthony Poindexter, an All-American candidate a year ago, he had 98 tackles, more than any other ACC defensive back. Third and a mile. This one isn't in the playbook. And they'll play it a conservative call. Cooper gets maybe a yard. Stacked up by the middle of the defense. Maurice Anderson led the charge for the Cavaliers. Great start for Virginia.
It is, Mike, and when you look at what Virginia's lost on defense, you figure how can they be a good defensive team? But their coach, Rick Lance, says he has 3 defensive tackles that are #1 prospects. You know Poindexter is going to be a #1 pro prospect, so they got a lot of good athletes on the field.
Jarrett Holmes, an outstanding two-way punter, standing in his end zone. And Thomas Jones waits at midfield. The Cavaliers say they got it. It is a safety as Auburn recovers. Holy cow, what a start for the Cavalier defense. It looked like Dwayne Stoops was the man who made the block. What a start.
Well, it really is, Mike. When you look at Dwayne Stoops, he was a corner that they didn't expect to start this year. He came off the corner, a missed blocking assignment, and special teams in the first ball game of the year. A lot of times determining factors. Stoops, number 5. Going to see him come inside. Right here. Just a missed blocking assignment, and the personal protector didn't see him either. He's supposed to pick him up also.
And they were very fortunate that Jarrett Holmes got on the football, or it would have been a touchdown.
Not a good way to start on the road because you want to take the crowd out of the ball game, not bring them in.
Virginia may have seen something from last year because Holmes had 2 punts blocked in 1996.
When you lose a lot of players, Mike, and you're inexperienced, you need good things to happen early, and that was a big break for Virginia.
We talked today that it was critical with 8 starters back for the younger guys to get their confidence boosted, and this will certainly do it. Wilkins and Jones will wait back at the 25-yard line, and Jarrett Holmes with a free kick.
They only have 10 men on the field for Virginia. It's going to cost them a timeout. Again, a special teams error here in the first quarter.
The other thing it does is cost him some emotion because you want to keep the game going at this point.
When you're special teams coach, you look up, you wonder where the head coach is at because you know he's going to come down that sideline. That's Danny Wilmer. There's George Welsh. He's not happy about that. Using a timeout in a kicking situation here.
Well, George showed up right on cue. That's another thing about having a young club. People not really sure of their assignments all the time.
Well, sometimes they want to buy a ticket instead of playing.
Again, Jones and Wilkins wait at the 20 after the penalty. Wilkins at the 13. Behind the wedge, room to run. Wilkins, midfield, cuts back to the Auburn 40. 47 yards on the return.
Mike, what makes that really important is that you bring an inexperienced quarterback in, Aaron Brooks, and he has great field position so he can come in loose. Terrence Wilkins gets a big block from Thomas Jones, number 6, the starting tailback. Cuts back against the grain and sets up. Here's the block by Thomas Jones, number 6, right there.
Let's see if Virginia can convert. Beautiful field position. Jones starts at tailback. He's got Kirby in front of him. Jones gets the carry. Straight ahead and hit initially by Charles Dorsey and pushed back into the backfield. Virginia's quarterback, first-year starter Aaron Brooks, a good scrambler with a very strong arm. To succeed, he needs better accuracy. Receiver Jermaine Crowell is the complete package, size and speed. He could be Virginia's best since Herman Moore. Only 2 starters back on the offensive line that tackles. Doug Karczewski, a preseason all-conference pick. They give him 3 yards on the carry, 2nd and 7. Again, the tailback straight ahead across the 35. For Auburn's defense on the line, all 3 starters back. Left end Jimmy Brumbaugh was the nose tackle last year, led the line in stops. Inside linebacker Takeo Spikes, only a junior, but this is his 2nd season as a Butkus Award candidate. And safety Brad Ware made the All-SEC freshman team a year ago after tying for the team lead with 7 interceptions. Virginia will go with 3 wideouts on 3rd and 4. Terrence Wilkins, the 3rd man. Instead, it's the fullback, Kirby, and nothing doing in the middle of that line. Interesting, Mike, 3 times in a row, they ran over their least experienced linemen.
Yeah, Mike, very conservative calls here in the first quarter. I thought when they had the good punt, good kickoff return, that they had field position, that they might want to open it up with Aaron Brooks. But, you know, you got an inexperienced quarterback want to get his feet on the ground. Takeo Spikes, the All-American linebacker, number 55, making that tackle.
Frank Rotella will come in to try a very short punt. The ball spotted at the 34-yard line. Just try to pooch it down to Cooper, who waits at the 10. Very high. And the Cavaliers batted back and down it inside the 5-yard line. Now the officials will talk it over and it will come out to the 20. Sean Jones downfield trying to make the play. Couldn't do it on special teams. We've got a timeout with 10:19 to go first quarter. It's a 2-0 shutout.
It starts here. It starts here. It also starts here and here. And it all starts right here at Walmart, home of the EverStart battery. A powerful battery for trucks, cars, boats, and mowers that you can count on to start when you need it to. And since it's at Walmart, you can also count on a good price. EverStart. The name says it all.
Ever notice that a year goes by quicker these days? Which means the weeks go by quicker. And the days. The minutes.
Introducing the all-new supercharged Regal GS. No other sports sedan packs in this much fun, power, and standard safety features into your life so you can get everything done.
Hey, when life is fast,
life is good!
The all-new Regal GS by Buick. Official car of the supercharged family.
the Service Star and Coast to Coast Great American Fix-Up Sale. A Potomac 8x10 tarp, just $2.94. A Stanley Powerlock tape rule, only $7.94. The things a do-it-yourselfer needs are at Service Star and Coast to Coast stores.
ESPN presentation.
Back to action, and Cooper on 1st and 10 will get 2, maybe 3 off the right side. And Mike Gottfried, I think if things start to go south here for Virginia, they will look back at the 2 huge plays they had early in the game that produced only 2 points for them.
And you're right, Mike. Conservative calls, but again, when you have an inexperienced quarterback that last year split time, they were trying to get his feet on the ground, I think, in that first series. It had been a great time to throw because you're in the Auburn field position.
2nd and 7. Craig will go to the shotgun. He's got 3 wide receivers in the game. Hicks 4. Number 89 joins the starters. Craig on a little half roll under pressure and throws it away. Was getting pressure from the middle linebacker, Wally Rayner. And they did a nice job making sure they strung it out and didn't give Craig any room to run.
Well, Damian Craig, he played at Blount High School in Mobile for Ben Harris, an outstanding coach. He won 2 state championships, Auburn and Southern Mississippi, really the only 2 schools that recruited him as a quarterback. He said, I'm a quarterback. I want to be a quarterback. Joe Witt recruited him, and they recruited him as a quarterback. Now's his time.
Auburn has run 5 plays. They have lost a total of 9 yards. He was very good last year, as you saw on 3rd down conversions. 3rd and 7 here. Craig under pressure, throws in the flat to Cooper. Nice one-handed catch. Shakes a tackle, shakes another, driven out of bounds across the 30. He's got the 1st down. Nice job as Joe Williams missed the tackle on the sideline.
The other thing I talk about in the first game is special teams and tackling, because sometimes you don't tackle a lot in the preseason practice, and you're going to see Joe Williams. This ball's thrown out in the corner in the flat to Markeith Cooper. He's only 5'7", 160 pounds, just missed tackles that allowed him to get that 1st down.
Otherwise, Auburn would be punting the ball away again. New set of downs outside the 30. Cooper, the single setback with Craig. Craig to Cooper again in the flat. 3 Cavaliers waiting for him this time, and a gain of only 2. Good tackle by Williams. Virginia was just devastated by the draft, an indication of what kind of talent level George Welsh has built here at Virginia. The 2 linebackers they lost, Sharper and Ferrier, they were the 2 top linebackers taken in the draft. Also, John Harris, Tiki Barber, the great running back, and 2 guys taken in the later rounds. That's a lot to lose off a football team, but Virginia's at the point where they can replace those guys.
Mike, they got athletes, believe me.
2nd and 7. A lot of shotgun early from Craig. Here's the shotgun option, reverses his field. Cavaliers did a nice job of stringing that one out, and Dwayne Stoops, the left corner, made the tackle.
But again, you look at a quarterback like Damian Craig, a lot of quarterbacks would have been sacked here. He had the option on to come to this side of the field. It's the ball off shotgun. Now the option stopped because a good call by Virginia. They had the strong safety fire coming on, but a good tackle by Dwayne Stoops again in the open field. Big 3rd down again for Auburn. Keep this drive alive.
Craig, the leading rusher among SEC quarterbacks a year ago. And now he has Rusty Williams in on a 3rd and 4. Williams is number 3. Here comes the blitz. Craig unloads, batted down in his face, and again it was Rayner, the middle linebacker.
Wale Rayner, the starting middle linebacker last year. He had Ferrier and Sharper on both sides of him. He has to pick it up a little bit this year. Makes a big play. Number 44, middle linebacker, on a little zone blitz, gets off his feet in the throwing lane and knocks that ball down on Damian Craig.
Jarrett Holmes will punt to Thomas Jones, and right now, Auburn looks like the team that doesn't have all those veterans. Short kick off the side of his foot and takes a Virginia bounce out of bounds across the 35-yard line. A punt of only 26 yards, and again, good field position for the Cavaliers.
Some families get more done in a day than others do in a week. They're the first to do anything, including to say,
Hey, how's it going?
now there's a car that does as much as your supercharged family. Introducing the all-new supercharged Regal GS. No other sports sedan squeezes in this much supercharged
Fun.
power and standard safety features into your daily routine. Regal GS by Buick.
Hey, life's a blur.
The all-new Regal GS, the official car of the supercharged family.
Water on the right. Okay. Bunkers left. Okay. And the pin is... oh, my.
Attention golfers, your card has been spotted at the 16th green. Pick it up! It's a gimme!
Kick down there.
Some people can't wait to finish their round. After all, when there's a nice cold Michelob waiting at the end, time is of the essence.
Trade your carts.
Honey, it's a gimme.
Is that a new big king? No, it's a bag, Coach.
No, in the bag, son.
Yes, sir, it is.
Well, what's a smart kid like you doing sitting on the bench? Get in there and play quarterback.
Really?
Like taking candy from a baby.
The new Big King from Burger King, plain broiled with 75% more beef. It's like a Big Mac, except it's bigger and tastes better. And right now, you can get one for just 99 cents.
Coach said I could play halfback.
Indiana faces North Carolina's wrecking ball defense and dynamite core of receivers. Indiana versus North Carolina, Saturday at noon on ESPN2.
Roger.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Buick. Welcome to Park Avenue, the all-new Park Avenue by Buick, the power of understatement, and by Service Star. Visit your Service Star or coast-to-coast store now during the Great American Fix-Up Sale.
Virginia leading at 2-0 here with 7:48 to go first quarter. A year ago, the Cavaliers seemed to have everything on offense, especially Tiki Barber. But when it came to the quarterbacks, Tim Sherman and Aaron Brooks in his relief, 5 touchdowns and 18 interceptions, the worst ratio in Division I. They start out of the I, draw to Jones, breaks one tackle, gets it to the 40-yard line.
Good
Mike,
call.
I think you're right. They want to get this quarterback's feet on the ground.
Yeah, I think this was a good call because Auburn had a blitz on. Takeo Spikes is coming in. He gets picked up by Doug Karczewski, number 79, and that almost popped. Even though they only gained 3 yards, it slows down the rush.
Jones out of Big Stone Gap, Virginia, highly recruited. Tremendous numbers in high school. Brooks on a roll, throws on the run, and he's got it complete to Crowell at midfield. Good throw by Brooks, a gain of 11. That'll make him feel better.
A safe call, Mike, because you sprint him out to the right. He's a right-hander. You bring him closer to his receiver. It's Jermaine Crowell, the 6'5" receiver. Curl route right in front of Martavius Houston, the outstanding safety. Sprint out right. Good throw.
Does have an arm, doesn't he?
He's got a strong arm.
1st and 10 Cavaliers. Jones, nice block and a big hole. He's got the first down to the Auburn 36-yard line. Gain of 13. In high school, he rushed for more than 7,000 yards.
Casey Crawford, number 86, the top of your screen. He's got the good block. And they're handling this defensive line of Auburn. That was the concern I had, the quickness of Auburn's defensive line. But so far, Virginia has handled it.
Crawford from Falls Church, Virginia. Brooks dumps it to Jones. He'll only get a couple. And Ricky Neal, one of the inside linebackers, had him around the knees. Neal was second on the team in tackles a year ago, had 111. He's been a big playmaker for him.
Well, safe play calling for Aaron Brooks. As you mentioned, Mike, last year he split time at the quarterback position, but in the spring, George Wells told him, the quarterback's job is yours. He now has more confidence, but they want him to come out of this game with confidence.
2nd and 7. Here comes the blitz. Brooks in trouble and does a good job of throwing the ball away. Right up the middle, Charles Dorsey, the nose tackle. We talked about the player turnover for Virginia, and Mike, they have 4 new coaches, 3 of them former head coaches.
Well, George Welsh felt like that he lost some coaches. Tom O'Brien, now the head coach of Boston College, will do a nice job there. But he wanted some different ideas. He hired Sparky Woods as offensive coordinator out of Memphis State, and feels like that he's turned the offense over to Sparky.
3rd and 7. Virginia will go with 3 wide receivers. Wilkins is in the slot. And movement by the Cavaliers, and that was Thomas Jones, the tailback, along with Fatty Shimon, the right guard.
Line. 3rd down.
Mike, what also goes into play calling is the fact that you open up with Auburn, and their coordinator, Bill Oliver, runs a lot of different defensive coverages, so they just don't want to turn Aaron Brooks loose and make a mistake here early in the ball game and get his confidence down.
And this defense was tied for the lead in turnovers last year in the nation with 36. Now it's 3rd and 12 for Brooks and the Cavaliers. 4-man rush. Has time and throws too high for Crowell. And Virginia has squandered excellent field position again, but will have to punt it away.
And remember that, Mike. Now, they've had a couple of shots down here. You mentioned earlier they got the safety instead of the touchdown. They've been down here inside the 52 times. And Auburn is just not untracked yet offensively. Playing well defensively, but offensively just a little sluggish here in the early going.
Cooper waits at the 10. Rotello will punt again. Nearly got it down within the 5-yard line the last time he kicked. And this time the Cavaliers will down it inside the 10-yard line and force Auburn to start from the 8. Great job by Virginia on special teams. 2-0 Cavaliers.
With my own car. Well, it's my mom's, but who's keeping track? Anyway, I'm on the road. It's raining, and the windshield's streaky, so my dad says, "Listen, honey, let me show you how to install the new wiper blade." So here he comes with his tool belt and screwdriver, looking all furious. I'm like, chill out, Dad. We use exact fit wiper blades from Trico. No complicated instructions, no confusing parts to assemble, no hassles. They just click on easy. Sometimes I don't know what you do without me.
Our boys of summer have the new Chop Shop Rocket with the Cy Young staff on the mound. Will Nagel bring the hardware home this year? Chipper and Blauser are hitting them long, and Lawson stealing home. Atlanta's baseball title town. Fox Sports South.
At Bristol University, with thousands of applicants competing for less than 100 slots.
1580 on his SATs, 4.0 GPA average, student body president.
Who cares? Especially important are the teacher recommendations.
I've expressed my concern to Jason's parents about his excessive TV watching. He's been caught skipping school to attend football games.
Sounds like a Bristol man. He there.
Mike Patrick, Mike Guthrie, Jerry Punch, our entire ESPN crew with you on a Thursday night from Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. Auburn has started from the 20, the 20, and now the 8-yard line. Rusty Williams is the tailback. Beasley, the up man in the eye for Damian Craig, and he's changing the play. Beasley, absolutely nothing. And Craig took a hit on that play as well. Johnny Shivers, number 99, went through after the ball was handed to Beasley and nailed Damian Craig.
Well, the most important thing is you look at the center position. Now, that's T.J. Dunnigan. The linebacker standing on top of him, that's Danny Green. But they've got a lot of penetration on this Auburn line. Now, Rick Trickett, the offensive line coach, said this is the best offensive line he's had, but they're young and may not block the right guy sometimes.
Shivers was very fortunate that he didn't get a penalty call on that last play with the club to the head. 2nd and 9. This time they get a little running room for Rusty Williams, and he picks up about 5. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Doctor.
You mentioned Rick Trickett, Auburn's fiery offensive line coach. During the change of possession a moment ago, he lit up the big uglies up front, talking about exactly what Mike was talking about, the penetration up front. He was very concerned about the linebacker penetration. He changed some blocking schemes and wanted to be able to maybe possibly run some misdirection, maybe some trap blocks on the backside. He wanted to set up some traps to the backside of the early plays here, deep in their territory.
All right, Jerry, let's see if they can spring one. It's 3rd and 6 right now.
Well, you always trap defensive linemen if they're getting up the field.
Split backs this time. And Craig got a play action. Got room to run. Instead, he'll float it downfield. Bailey, and let's see, a flag down. Bailey against Dwayne Stukes. It's going to be a tough call if that's interference.
Yeah,
if it's defensive interference.
I think it's defensive interference, and I think that Damian Craig's scrambling ability caused that play. He's able to break, contain. Now you put the defensive back in a tough position.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. Pass interference on the offense. Penalties offset, replay, 3rd down.
Mike, I honestly thought it was going to be offensive interference because Karsten Bailey went up over the shoulder of Stukes.
Came back for the football. Victor Riley, the big tackle, 6'5", 313 pounds against Shannon Taylor. With the penalty on Damian Craig.
So we'll do it all over again. 3rd and 6. Williams goes out as a flanker. Craig rolls near side and throws. He's got it complete, or is it? No. Incomplete at the 22. That'll bring up a 4th down. The coverage by Joe Williams. The intended receiver, Karsten Bailey.
Again, hitting like a typewriter, Mike. Offensively looks very, very sluggish for Auburn here early. And the bad news is they've got a punt again inside their 20-yard line.
They have been bottled up the entire first quarter. Great job by the Virginia defense. Holmes to punt. And Jones waits at the 45. Virginia looking at potentially great field position again. Low line drive. Jones from the 37. Makes a couple of men miss. And back in Auburn territory at the 43. The West Virginia defense faces their 2nd straight major challenge. Last week it was Marshall's all-world wideout Randy Moss. This week, Buccaneer back Scott Harley, who was 3rd in the nation in rushing last season. But the Mountaineers counter with a star of their own, Amos Zaraway, who had 174 yards and 3 touchdowns in the opening. The linemen will dig in. The backs will run all day. Be there at 12:30 Eastern, and Amos Zaraway is the real deal.
Mike, he is. This would be a good down to throw the football deep with Crowell.
Kirby, the fullback, inside the 40 to about the 38. Virginia, I think, has to get something out of this drive.
Again, playing conservative, but calling the plays to their quarterback. Again, inside the 50-yard line where you like to take little chances with your quarterback, but trying to get his feet on the ground. First down's a good down for him to throw. They picked up 4 yards. Anytime you pick up 4 yards on a running play, it's successful.
Crowell is out of there right now, and Sean Jones has checked into the wide receiver slot. He's flanked to the top of your screen. Jones, the tailback. Good block. And down to the 30. They are getting outstanding blocking now on the left side of that line, Mike.
Good block by the offensive line on the left side. Charles Kirby, the fullback, number 36. The offensive left side having their way with Auburn. There's number 36, Charles Kirby, with a good lead block. And then Thomas Jones shows some speed. Only had 36 carries last year.
Fatty Shimon got a good block on the pull as well. 1st and 10. Jones, 5 carries, 31 yards so far. And that's too low for Sean Jones, who's in there right now for Crowell.
Mike, the other thing when you establish the running game, which is exactly what George Welsh and Sparky Woods are trying to do right now, when you have a quarterback that's mobile,
off of the running game. Then you've got the waggles, you've got the boots, you've got the nakeds where all of a sudden you get Aaron Brooks outside. So their key is establishing the running game. That's their game plan tonight.
Crowell comes back on 2nd and 10. Brooks trying to scramble. He's got speed. Really ran away from spikes and forced out of bounds near the yard marker by Brad Ware. He's a big, rangy kid at 6'4", 198 pounds. He doesn't look like he's all that fast, but he just runs away from people.
Aaron Brooks drops back to pass, and all of a sudden the second dimension becomes available as the running back. You see the linebacker, Ricky Neal, trying to cover a back in the flat, takes him out of the middle, and all of a sudden the scrambling lane is open.
3rd and less than a yard. They'll go with 2 tight ends. Number 41, Patrick Washington, checks in for the Cavaliers. He's on a wing and a quarterback keeper, and it appears they have the first down, but there's a marker down on the play. One of the linesmen threw it.
Defense lined up offside by the alternative Hispano.
Auburn, for a veteran team, making uncharacteristic mistakes right now.
You see right here, as you look down the line of scrimmage, that looks like the helmet is offsides before the play.
So's the hand.
Marcus Washington, number 82. Again, a nice time to throw the football. First down, little play action fake off of the run.
There it is. Pressure from behind. The pass complete. Crowell inside the 5 to the 4. A gain of 12. First and goal, Cavaliers. Nice block, or Marcus Washington putting the pressure on from the blind side. A step too late to get to Brooks.
Well, we talked about early the conservative play calling. What that does is that sets this play up. Good standing in the pocket by Aaron Brooks, and here's the reception by Jermaine Crowell. Good coverage. That's Shaquille Spikes, number 55, making the hit.
First and goal, Cavaliers. Jones. And Auburn tougher on that one, gave up maybe a half yard.
So far, when you look at this play, the Virginia offensive line has handled this bunch right here. And they've got good size on the defensive side. Leonardo Carson, Charles Dorsey, Jimmy Brumbaugh, all good defensive linemen. But Virginia had problems last year in the red zone.
Of course, they also had Tiki Barber. Jones is the single setback. Brooks the throw in the flat. Is it a touchdown, or are they going to mark it short? They will mark it short. Wilkins made the catch, but came out of the end zone to get the ball.
Came back to the football.
Which he's supposed to do as a receiver.
Yes. Terrence Wilkins, a former tailback. He moved to wide receiver, and the coaches at Virginia, George Welsh, say that he can really make you miss because of his running back skills.
Third and goal, the toss to Jones. Fumble the football. Auburn has it. Holy cow. Virginia again fails from point-blank range. The recovery by Brad Ware.
Mike, a big mistake there was by Virginia. They had 8 seconds on the clock. Really should have taken some time there. Let the clock expire and then move to the other end, settle your offense down, and call the play. An option play to the left side. Aaron Brooks is wide open. Thomas Jones is wide open for the score.
Auburn football when we come back. 2-0 Virginia.
You worry? You're overprotective? You're a parent. Isn't it nice to know that there's something almost effortless you can do to protect your family even more? Just ask your State Farm agent for a free family insurance checkup. It's a smart way for you to decide if your family's insurance coverage is up to date. So they'll be better protected. And maybe you'll worry a little less.
You really want a cellular phone, but you're afraid of the service plans, activation, the true cost. So you go back and forth. Don't do that. Come into Radio Shack. We'll patiently explain everything you need to know about going cellular. You'll see that not only are cellular phones nothing to be afraid of, they're actually quite friendly. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Activate now and get a Nokia phone with a car lighter adapter for $9.99.
Buick LeSabre is built to keep you safe and secure. A comforting thought, especially for those who aren't even in the car.
At first, my wife was worried. She kept saying something about my knees.
You have artificial knees.
But then I told her about Zoom Air. It's lower to the ground, more responsive. The air unit springs back in 31/100ths of a millisecond.
You could run away from people faster.
Or dance around in the pocket, sprint for a first down.
Or run away from people faster.
I wouldn't be making this comeback without her blessing and my super fast Zoom Air shoes.
At Boston Market, our rotisserie chicken is slow roasted to seal in the flavors, and our market fresh sides are freshly prepared every day. So hurry in and try one of our great meals starting at just $3.99 for a limited time. The food's always better at the market. Boston Market.
Another shortcut to small business success. From mailboxes, etc. Star in a commercial on the Super Bowl. You'll get national exposure plus $10,000. It's the See Your Small Business on the Super Bowl search. Enter now at mailboxes, etc.
This time, Auburn will have to start from the 2-yard line. They could not advance the fumble, so that was the spot where it was recovered. Rusty Williams is the tailback. They started at the 20, the 20, the 8, and the 2. Still only down 2-0. Get a little breathing room out near the 4-yard line. Take a look at the first quarter stats, and they tell you that Auburn has not been able to do anything offensively. -2 rush yards, only 11 passing, a total of 9. But I have to go back to the point. Virginia has had multiple opportunities in the first half. They only have 2 points on that safety. Auburn has to be feeling pretty good right now.
Oh, if you're an Auburn coach right now, you feel very good. The fact that you're only down 2-0, you could be run out of here right now.
And it's not 2-0 with Randy Johnson either. Rusty Williams cracks out to about the 8 stop by Rayner. The middle linebacker has been very active in the first half.
This Virginia defense, again, remember they have 3 defensive tackles that Rick Lance, the defensive coordinator, feels like is going to be #1 draft choices in the pros when they graduate out of here. It's a defense that lost heavily, but they've got a great safety. Probably the best player on the field is #3, Anthony Poindexter.
Auburn trying to get anything started on offense. They are out to the 8-yard line, 3rd and 4. The crowd comes to its feet here in Charlottesville. Craig on a roll under pressure, throws to Beasley. First down and more, and Beasley to the 25, 26-yard line before he's finally knocked out of bounds. Travis Griffith had a bead on Damian Craig, but Craig was equal to the task.
Quick release by Damian Craig right here. Going to see the little fake inside. Now, all of a sudden, now you break, contain, and here's Fred Beasley wide open in the flat. Outside the linebackers, picks up the first down, and he's a former tailback, so he has good skills. Tackled by Anthony Poindexter, the safety.
And the guy he ran away from was a freshman, Byron Thweet, the outside linebacker. So first down, Auburn out at the 21. Here comes the blitz. Craig throws wide open, Beasley. Beasley lost the ball, but I think he was down. at the Virginia 38-yard line, a gain of 35.
Mike, Fred Beasley's an interesting story because he came to Auburn as a tailback, and they talked to him 2 years ago. They said, listen, you play fullback this year, we need you at fullback, and then we'll put you at tailback. Well, then last year they played him 5 games at tailback position, but now he's back at fullback. Here Damian Craig finds him, but that's a good athlete out there in the middle of the football field catching that football against Virginia. And now the field position's changed.
Once again, it was Byron Thweet, the freshman linebacker, who lost contain on that side. Markeith Cooper rotating at tailback. Craig, room to run. Now forced to the sideline and taken down, gain of maybe a yard. Donnie Green, number 33, wouldn't let him get away.
You know, you look at Damian Craig, and it's hard for us to understand he's not on the Unitas list as one of the best quarterbacks. Now, that's 19 quarterbacks, and he's not on the list. And when I asked him, I said, are you disappointed? He said, I'm not disappointed. He said, I think it's a disgrace to our university, the tradition that we've had at the quarterback position, and I've got to figure he's got to be one of the best 19 quarterbacks in college football.
And probably out to prove a point this year as well. Lowe and Poor come in as wide receivers on 2nd and 10. Cooper on the toss. Got down to the 35. And once again, it was Rayner, the middle linebacker, number 44. Beasley with a good block, but Rayner cleaned it up in a hurry.
Take your middle linebacker in a 4-3 set. Number 44 sitting right back here. Wally Rayner, number 44, he's deep in this set. Here he gives him a chance to scrape off. He takes on the tackle, Geno James, and then sheds him and makes the tackle on Markeith Cooper. That's what you want out of a linebacker.
3rd and 7. Auburn with its best field position. 7th play of this drive. Craig throws underneath, and he's got Hicks Poor, and Poor fights to get to the sticks. Is that a great name or what?
Hicks Poor.
From Marietta, Georgia.
It's better than being the reverse. Poor Hicks. Mike, I'm going to go back again because Hicks Poor almost made the same mistake. He almost came back inside that first down marker, and you go back to Virginia. They had a receiver in the end zone.
It was Wilkins.
Terrence Wilkins, and he came out of the end zone to make that catch, and they spotted him on the 1-yard line, so that could have been a touchdown. Then he came back and didn't let the clock expire and ran the option and fumbled the football, so they missed some golden opportunities.
Kevin McLeod comes in at a tight end. Williams back in at the tailback spot for Auburn. It's Beasley, the fullback. Bounces off the pile and gives Poindexter a free ride down to the 20-yard line.
Again, talk about Fred Beasley, and he's such a weapon. Rodney Allison, the offensive coordinator, said he can be the best fullback in the country. He has tailback running skills, but he also blocks as a fullback. It's an 8-yard gain where he was able to take the ball backside.
Now Auburn starting to look like the ball club we expected them to be. 2nd and 2. This will be a first down run for Rusty Williams.
When you talk about, you just made a statement there, Auburn's now looking like the offense and the ball club that we expected. But remember, there's no exhibition games. There's no preseason. There's nothing. All of a sudden, you get on the road in this hostile atmosphere, and the defense isn't playing like your scout team. And all of a sudden, you go back to the huddle and say, hey, they're a little faster than those guys back at Auburn that's running out the Virginia plays. And so it takes a little while to simulate that speed and get caught up.
Craig goes to the shotgun on first down. Plenty of time. To the 10, the 5, touchdown Damian Craig.
That's what he said when I talked to him last night. He said, you know, I wanted to prove to everybody last year I was a quarterback, so I stood in the pocket, and there were times when I wanted to run, but I just didn't feel like if I ran, they'd say, hey, I'm a scrambling quarterback, and I can't read defenses and all that, but this is the difference in him this year. He looked, he looked, he looked. He went through his 3 progressions. He decided to tuck it and run for the touchdown.
There is nothing wrong with doing it all. Jared Holmes will come on for the point after. And Auburn, after Virginia squandered multiple opportunities, has taken a 7-2 lead. Damian Craig hit 3 passes on this drive and then ran it in from 17 yards.
It has vents in 22 locations, storage compartments in 12 locations, 10 speakers in 8 locations, cup holders in 14 locations, and lights in over 20 locations. So now you know the secret to Dodge Caravan's user-friendly design. Location, location, location. Dodge Caravan. Now get up to $1,000 cash back during the Dodge Big Summer Clearance.
Housekeeping. Excuse me. Checking out?
Uh-huh.
We'll change the room.
Holiday Inn hotels are undergoing a $1 billion renovation to make every Holiday Inn as good as the best Holiday Inn.
Oh, you're back. Your toothbrush.
That means we're changing a lot more than the sheets. Holiday Inn, on the way.
In the paint, we are artists with evolved. Muscle, agility, speed, molded into raw power. Synchronized in movement. In unison, we play on our strengths. With explosions of energy, our game becomes a masterpiece. Discus Athletic. Compete on every field.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by the new Dodge. It's about change.
How quickly things can change. It looked for all the world like Virginia would score to go up 9-0. Instead, they fumble, and Auburn goes 98 yards to take the lead. Jared Holmes to kick off. Stooks and Wilkins are deep for Virginia. Stooks at the 4. And taken down near the 20. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
One of the big questions in college football this year early on is who would win the Ronald Curry sweepstakes. Curry considered to be maybe the best college quarterback and point guard in America out of Hampton High School. Now, early today, I called down to Hampton High School and asked Mike Smith, Curry's head football coach, where would he go? Would he make a decision? He said, yes, Ronald had just made a decision. He is going to commit today verbally to the University of Virginia. So Ronald Curry comes to Virginia, and he will bring with him outstanding linebacker Darnell Hollier, whose brother Dwight, a pretty good Miami Dolphin, and also tight end Bobby Blizzard. So Blizzard, Hollier, and Curry from Hampton coming to Virginia.
Jerry, congratulations on breaking that story for us. Look at some of the numbers for Curry. This is for the first 3 years, passing for more than 5,600 yards, running for more than 2,400. He is a whale of a point guard as well, and will play both sports at Virginia. Penalty on the kickoff, so the Cavaliers have to start inside their 10. Jones on the draw play. Gets it out to about the 15. You know, college football is here when you get a slate of games like this. Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, a quintet of regional games highlighted by Peyton Manning and the Vols heading out to the Rose Bowl to face UCLA. Washington, BYU are also with early national implications. Then in Primetime's alma mater, the Seminoles of Florida State take their aerial attack against USC's own version of primetime, Dalen McCutcheon. Brooks with that strong arm gets it out to Crowell, and Crowell out near the 30-yard line. George Welsh told us yesterday, this kid has got to get 5 or 6 catches a game. He's that good and that important to the offense.
Well, there's no doubt. And again, a good strong arm. Here's heel spikes on the blitz. And again, you like the way Aaron Brooks stands in the pocket. Here's the route, just a little sit-down route by Jermaine Crow, and then he turns it on up the football field.
Crowell, 3 catches, 38 yards so far. Brooks. Straight back in the pocket, guns another one. This one to Wilkins at around the 39-yard line. Now, this is a product of youth, but he is sure waiting a long time for those receivers to uncover.
Yeah, he really is. He's still being a little cautious throwing the football.
And there's a flag down back where Brooks threw the football.
Hold it. One offense. Penalty's 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Mike, with an inexperienced quarterback, what you worry about is negative plays and penalties, and then the turnover sets in. Here's the hold by Doug Karczewski, number 79. But when you put a young quarterback in a bad position like this, now you can put some heavy coverage on him. And to me, the key for Virginia tonight is not to throw the interceptions and fumble the football. They've already fumbled once.
First and 25 after the penalty.
They're not good enough to overcome that.
Jones on the draw. They've got a couple, but Jimmy Brumbaugh and a host of mates were waiting for him, along with Ricky Neal, number 50.
Mike, go back to Ronald Curry, Jerry Punch breaking that story. I mean, that's big in college football because a lot of the recruiting people, top recruit out in California, had him as their best player. Tom Lemming's service, he was being recruited. He had it down to Michigan, Florida State, Duke, Virginia, and North Carolina, and it finally came down to North Carolina and Virginia. And I would say it's probably like Ralph Sampson committing in basketball. That's how big it is.
Absolutely. Except Ralph didn't play football, too. Brooks with plenty of time, dumps it off to Wilkins underneath, and Spikes is there to nail him, along with Brad Ware.
Well, this Takeo Spikes is some linebacker. He set his goals when he came to Auburn the first year to start as a freshman. He wanted to be an All-American. Last year he was second team, and he wants to win the Butkus. I wouldn't bet against him. He had 119 tackles last year, and his recruiting was big because he was Mr. Football in the state of Georgia. Came down to Florida State and Auburn happy to have him.
He was the only sophomore who was a finalist, a semifinalist for the Butkus Award a year ago. 3rd and 16 for the Cavaliers.
Here's the tough down for Aaron Brooks.
Little stunt up front. Brooks steps up, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Martavius Houston. And Houston out of bounds at the 25.
That's what you don't want to have him in, Mike. You don't want to have him in long yardage situations because now they can gang up on Jermaine Crowell.
There's a penalty marker down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense.
Oh, that's huge.
15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
That is huge. Instead of the interception, have we had some big plays so far? Or what?
Big penalties in this. And Terry Bowden wants to know what all football coaches want to know. Who is it on?
Oh, yeah. Shot to the head with the helmet.
Quentin Reese.
Yeah, the outside linebacker.
Well, you fight so hard to get to the quarterback, and you get blocked, and finally you hit him, and they throw 15 yards. But that was a 15-yard penalty. Good
yes,
call
it was.
By the referee. Southeastern Conference.
So a new life for Virginia. They had the ball up near the 39-yard line, and Brooks may be trying to clear some cobwebs. He's hit 6 out of 9. They take the interception off the board. Jones behind Kirby. Virginia's done a pretty good job running the football so far.
I think that's their key. They've got to have good mix in the running game. Now, Thomas Jones looks like a good back. He was recruited by Notre Dame in Tennessee, and his first carry here at Virginia, he went 57 yards against Central Michigan, but he has good, quick feet. 5'10", 199, played behind Tiki Barber last year, and people are spoiled here a little bit with Tiki Barber because he used to run him in 60 yards out.
Averaging 4.5 yards a shot here in the first half. That'll get it done. Sean Jones, number 19, comes in as a wide receiver. He's flying to the near side. Brooks under pressure, throws late, complete, and got it to Sean Jones. It's the first down in Auburn territory. 15 yards. Not getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback either.
No, and they're giving Aaron Brooks time to find the curl route. Just a strong curl here where the backers can't get out underneath it. The back in the flat. Strong arm of Aaron Brooks. Sean Jones with the reception.
Brooks to throw on first down. And too wide for Crowell.
Well, inexperienced quarterback. He only played half the time last year. Had a wide open Jermaine Crow and just couldn't hit him. But you're going to see a quarterback here, I think, with the tools, who's going to develop into a good quarterback when they get into the conference schedule also. I like his arm strength. I like the scrambling ability, and he's seeing a lot of things tonight for the first time, a lot of different coverages.
The Auburn coaches said the one thing he can do is really throw that out pass on a line. You saw it there, even though it was wide. 3 for 4 on this drive. 2nd and 10, draw to Jones. Nice saving tackle by Brad Ware, the free safety. If he doesn't make that tackle, Jones may still be running.
Boy, you're right, Mike. He just came out of his secondary. What everybody's doing in college football, sitting those safeties real close so they can play the run. And Brad Ware sees right away, he reads the block of the offensive lineman. He knows it's run right now. There's number 27. You see him come up. He beats the block. He's able to come in and make that tackle on the draw, Thomas Jones.
Brad Owen was the wide receiver who couldn't get there to make the block. Otherwise, it would have been a huge play. 3rd and 7 when we come back. 7-2 Auburn.
They come from the small cities and big farms, leaving behind their egos and their innocence, bringing only their speed, their dreams, and perhaps a small fire extinguisher for the sweat and the heat and the pain of Joe Ball. And there on the Black Diamond, we're witness to the greased lightning of the flying backs, the brute strength of the sock tackles, and the spontaneous combustion of those who foolishly ignore the giant turkey thermometers. Coors Light salutes the guys of the gridiron, men who know that when you're about to burst into flames, there's only one beer capable of cooling down that burning thirst. Frost brewed Coors Light.
Because you spend so much time in here, we applied the same technology that makes today's finest homes so comfortable. Windows that minimize solar heating, dual zone heating and cooling with separate temperature controls, and air ducts in the front room and family room. All the comforts of home with no lawn to mow. Dodge Caravan. Now get up to $1,000 cash back during the Dodge Big Summer Clearance.
Saturday, Amos Airway and the Nears get it on in Morgantown, East Carolina, West Virginia. Saturday at 12:30, only on ESPN.
Virginia in the middle of an impressive drive, facing 3rd and 7 inside the Auburn 40. They're down 7-2 with 4:19 to go in the first half. Four-man rush against Brooks. Room to run. Now he scrambles and gets near the 30-yard line, and that would be a first down. Nice job of getting just enough.
The fans were yelling at him to run the football. They felt like he was going to throw it.
But they don't understand. When you're looking for receivers and you're concentrating so hard, you're not looking at open space.
No, Takeo Spikes, number 55, the middle linebacker, he's just working in zone coverage. Now, all of a sudden, he sees Aaron Brooks run the football, and that little fake got him the first down. This tackle by Takeo Spikes.
First down, Cavaliers just outside the 30. Jones. It's about 3. The Auburn 28-yard line, and getting up off the pile was Quentin Reese, number 86, one of the outside linebackers.
Mike, Aaron Brooks is doing a lot of checking off at the line of scrimmage. Now, Thomas Jones, the tailback, watch him move right here. He's hearing the automatic. Now, he backed up. He did it a couple seconds before we moved it, but he backed up a couple steps because he was sitting closer to the line of scrimmage to block on a pass. He changed to a run, he backed up a step, and he was in position to carry the football.
You can see that one Auburn drive really did the job offensively. Here comes the blitz, the pass over the middle of the tight end Crawford down to the 22-yard line. Casey Crawford, who caught only 4 balls a year ago.
Casey Crawford's a good athlete. He was drafted by the Braves out of the high school. Safety's real deep on him. Can't even see a safety. Now all of a sudden you see Brad Ware come in and make the tackle. 3rd and 1. Big 3rd down for Virginia. Go back to that personal foul, Mike.
Short of the 20.
A personal foul by Quentin Reese on that interception. Big.
Jones. And if they mark it at the 20, he's got the first down. Spikes makes the tackle. You know, you see a running back, his lead blocker goes to the right, he goes to the left. That's vision. That's when he sees a seam that he thinks he can get the needed yard.
Well, he gets the ball so deep that he's got the ability to cut back. That's the key. Aaron Brooks has to give it to him about 4.5 yards deep so he can make that cut.
This was not a generous spot. The official on the far side marked it at the 20. The official on the near side came in and marked it short of the 20, but it's a first down nonetheless. I'll say it again, Virginia better get something out of this drive.
And they need more than 3 here, Mike.
Yep.
3's not good for them down here, even though it gets them back into the where another score could take the lead. But they need some confidence. Again, they had trouble last year when they got in the red zone.
1st and 10 just outside the 20. 3 wide receivers. Single setback is Jones. Brooks to throw under pressure, and he goes down back at the 27-yard line. Charles Dorsey will get the sack. Ricky Neal also applying pressure, and Auburn came strong that time.
Boy, good job by Auburn. A good defensive call by Auburn, because watch the defensive linemen and the linebackers move to the side that they thought that the pass play was going to go. There's 91 Charles Dorsey in making the sack.
And George Welsh didn't need a negative play, but he got one. A loss of 7, 2nd and 17. 14th play of this drive. Flanker screen, Wilkins. Did a good job to get anything out of that down to the 24-yard line. It'll still be 3rd and 14. Washington and Spikes converged on him there.
Here's the thought process now if you're Sparky Woods, the offensive coordinator. 1:24 to go on the clock. You got an inexperienced quarterback. Do you try to go downfield for the first down, or do you try to catch him with a trap or draw or some safe pass to pick up some yardage and get the field goal? I think you go for the first down here, even though you got a young quarterback, because you're going to need more than 3 to beat this Auburn team tonight because their offense is on track.
3rd and 14. This is the same kind of position where he threw the interception the last time, the one that was wiped out by the penalty.
Here comes pressure. Fade.
Whistle stopped the play. There was movement up front.
I think it's delay a game, Mike.
Delay of game. Offense. Penalties 5 yards.
Now here's the problem for Aaron Brooks. The clocks are not working, so the officials have the time on the field, so he can't see a clock to tell him to speed it up. But he was checking off because they had the blitz on. And I believe he probably would have thrown the fade because all the DBs were up against his receivers.
And that means you have to rely on the clock in your head. Now 3rd and 19. Showing blitz again.
Got Cole one-on-one.
Looking that direction. Brooks hit and goes down, almost lost the football back at the 39-yard line. And in that position, you just can't take a sack.
Mike, you have to throw the football. Again, inexperienced, but he had the one-on-one that he wanted to Keo Spikes, number 55, the Outland Trophy guy that's on the list. Reading this play all the way and just holding the ball too long. Very fortunate that he even got that ball back.
And you're right, he had Crowell man-to-man. You would have thought he would have thrown the ball anyway.
Mike, they let the clock run out, so they miss an opportunity here. I don't know if they would have tried a field goal here, but the clock ran out on them.
terrible job of clock management by the Cavaliers, although that would have been an extremely long field goal, so they'll just take a 5-point deficit into the locker room. That's the story in the first half. Let's go to Chris Fowler for the Coors Light halftime report.
Mike, thank you. An eventful first half. The Cavaliers would go to the locker room knowing they should have a substantial lead in this game, but instead down 7-2. Coming up on our Coors Light halftime report, we'll look towards Saturday's big games as Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit join me, plus the halftime blitzers will be along. Cavaliers got the early safety. Auburn a long touchdown drive. It's 7-2 at the break. Stick around.
Dodge Caravan not only offers a convenient driver's side sliding door, it's cleverly designed to hold the sliding doors open, even when you're parked on the steepest of hills. Try it out for yourself, if you're ever so inclined. Dodge Caravan. Now get up to $1,000 cash back during the Dodge Big Summer Clearance.
It starts here. It starts here. It also starts here and here. And it all starts right here at Walmart, home of the EverStart battery. A powerful battery for trucks, cars, boats, and mowers that you can count on to start when you need it to. And since it's at Walmart, you can also count on a good price. EverStart. The name says it all.
Most cellular companies charge you for roaming. They charge you for landline connections. And by rounding all calls up to the next minute, they charge you even more. It's a wonder they don't charge you for smelling salts. Get smart. Get Nextel, a national all-digital wireless network.
This halftime report is presented by Coors Light.
Now, welcome back to our Coors Light halftime report. Chris Fowler along with Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit. Well, it was September '94 in the Rose Bowl. A true freshman named Peyton Manning comes into the huddle. The Vols are trailing the Bruins, and Manning's eager. He rallies the team. He says, guys, I know we're down, but I can take us down the field and lead us to a touchdown. One veteran lineman turns over and says, shut the bleep up and just call the play. It was a 3-and-out series. Not a great debut for Peyton Manning, but a very different quarterback as the Vols visit the Bruins on Saturday afternoon on a very different UCLA team, which doesn't have its best defensive back in Sean Williams. He turned his ankle. Bruins gave up so many big plays to Washington State. 10 plays, Lee, of more than 20 yards. Meanwhile, the Vols defense.
And I think this would be a great experience for the Tennessee defense because they're playing two people, the quarterback, Cade McNown, and the tailback, Skip Hicks, who are the best two tandem in the country that they're going to play this year. And that includes the backs at the Gators. I think this is going to be a tremendous situation for the defense to learn how to play those Gators in a couple of weeks.
Well,
that's the big game for Tennessee.
That's what it's all about. I think this football game this weekend, earlier tonight, I talked to you about what UCLA hopes to do in running the football. Keep in mind they're going up against a defense that is unbelievably quick. They have Renak Thompson, you have Leonard Little, and also Al Wilson at the three linebackers, probably the quickest three linebackers in all of college football. And last week, just go ask Spike Dykes in Texas Tech, 33 carries, 11 of which were negative yardage or 0 yards. So they can really stop the run.
Bruins have vowed to hit Manning. They had no sacks against Wazoo's Ryan Leaf last week. Florida State and USC in the Coliseum. Florida State, the focus has been on the guys who are not there because of suspension or injuries. What about a guy who is coming back after 20 months out of football?
Unbelievable story. Well, Florida State on Saturday will start 6 new faces, including a man that is familiar with the Florida State defense. He's one of the best going back to that 1995 season. He injured his knee, tore his ACL back in the Orange Bowl in '96. A very emotional player, a hard hitter. You can see he's changed his jersey from 56 to 1 because he wants a lot of attention on himself. He believes he's going to have a big year. Speaking of linebackers, this guy's as good as it gets, and USC wants to run the ball. He's going to be everywhere.
Linebackers are good at Florida State, but the reason why they've been successful these last 7 or 8 years, the defensive line. That's where they're terrific. They lost 2 first-round draft choices to to the National Football League last year, but they got a guy named Andre Wadsworth who could be the best one they've ever had. They think this guy's a sensational defensive lineman.
That's the night part of the day-night doubleheader out in Los Angeles. Both games on ABC. The weekend begins really with the, as far as ABC is concerned, with the regional coverage at 3:30 Eastern Time. You can also see that great Washington BYU game as the Cougars' quest for respect begins against the 4th-ranked Huskies. And then in prime time, Florida State and USC. Thad Busby has been so sharp in preseason camp. He takes on the Trojans, which will try once again to run the game. More coming up at halftime after this.
They come from the small cities and big farms, leaving behind their egos and their innocence, bringing only their speed, their dreams, and perhaps a small fire extinguisher for the sweat and the heat and the pain of Joe Ball. And there on the Black Diamond, we're witness to the greased lightning of the flying backs, the brute strength of the sock tackles, and the spontaneous combustion of those who foolishly ignore the giant turkey thermometers. Coors Light salutes the guys of the gridiron, men who know that when you're about to burst into flames, there's only one beer capable of cooling down that burning thirst. Frost brewed Coors Light.
When sports cream, when legs are sore, when backs ache, when muscles hurt. Wise Sports Cream, rubbing it in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. Wise Sports Cream, because it works.
You know, be a really good anchor would be that MacGyver guy, you know. He'd be a good anchor. That guy that was on TJ Hooker, Dance Fever guy. He was pretty good.
This halftime report is presented by Coors Light. It's frost brewed to tap the clean taste of the Rockies.
This is Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia, where Auburn is leading the Cavaliers at halftime 7-2. Welcome back, everybody. Mike Patrick, Mike Godfrey, Jerry Punch working the sidelines for us. A first half of big plays and missed opportunities.
Well, Mike, you mentioned that great field position by Virginia. They didn't take advantage of it. I think it's really important for them to get a big kickoff return here. Good field position, because this drive is going to be very important the way the half ended. And you want to get confidence back in your offensive team. First half statistics, you look at the time of possession again, 17 minutes, 19 seconds for Virginia. And except for Damian Craig of Auburn, they didn't really have a lot of offense. Damian Craig was hit for them in the first half.
And 98 of the 107 total yards came on a single drive that started at the 2-yard line. Virginia to receive. Stooks and Wilkins are back to the kick from Holmes. Stooks 3 yards deep, thinks about it, and downs a knee.
Well, Mike, you mentioned the big plays in the first half. It all started the fireworks on the first punt by Auburn. Stooks coming in from the left side, blocks the punt. Auburn was able to recover, get the safety. Then he came back to the option play. Auburn caused the fumble. That could stop that drive. Now, here was a big play. Aaron Brooks throws an interception, but Auburn had great field position, but the personal foul negated that, and Auburn was not allowed to keep the football.
Virginia will open with 3 wide receivers. Jones is the deep man in the eye. Brooks with a long signal count wants to throw on first down. The quick out is picked off, intercepted by Ryan Taylor. Touchdown. Ryan Taylor saw it coming and made the break, reading the quarterback's eyes just as he threw the ball.
And Mike, you knew they had to get a big kickoff return. Auburn stopped them by kicking the ball in the end zone. You start from the 20, first down, you try to throw the out. Here's Ryan Taylor, number 6. And you see he just throws it right into the lane of the throw. And then Ryan Taylor in the end zone for the touchdown. And Momentum is all Auburn's.
Auburn last year, second in the nation with 22 interceptions. That's the first one in 97, and it goes for a 25-yard touchdown for junior linebacker Ryan Taylor.
It's fall, the best time to be planting your spring lawn. When you do, rely on Pennington, the people who make beautiful lawns their business. Pennington's newest lawn seed, EnviroBlend, can be easier on you, and it can be easier on the environment. It's low-growing, so it requires less maintenance. And Pennington's exclusive Pencoat coating makes it resistant to disease and insects. For your lawn, depend on Pennington EnviroBlend.
Inside your car's fuel system, there's a constant battle between good and evil. So if you have a dirty fuel system, none of these dark forces can match the power of STP Complete Fuel System Cleaner. STP's most technologically advanced fuel system cleaner ever. Dirt has met its match. STP Complete Fuel System Cleaner.
How did Ryan Taylor look so good intercepting that ball? He's a former strong safety converted to linebacker, so he's got the hands to make the plays. The second big turnover, that one results in a touchdown. The first stopped a Virginia touchdown as they fumbled on 3rd and goal from the 1. Wilkinson scoots deep again. Wilkins, 2 yards deep, he'll bring it out. Had a seam across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Let's check in with Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Guys, at halftime, Cavalier head coach George Welch was concerned about his offense. Said, you know, our offense has been out of sync in the first half. Our efforts at running a 2-minute drill before the halftime were very ineffective, to say the least. And we've had a number of missed opportunities. He wanted to come out early in the second half and throw the ball effectively. Obviously, he had a pretty ominous beginning for the second half.
Absolutely, Jerry. And Aaron Brooks, with that lack of experience, has got to learn you can't just focus on one receiver and stay there, because somebody like Taylor is a good enough athlete to read your eyes and pick it off. Back to the ground game with Jones, and they've had an effective running game tonight. Not spectacular, but certainly effective, and Brad Ware makes the tackle.
Yeah, I like Aaron Brooks as a quarterback tonight. It's all an education process of what you see out there on the field, but he needs, now you have to settle back. This game's not over, and you got a chance to establish your running game and pick your spots where you want him to throw the football. I think he's going to be a nice quarterback before this year's over.
Numbers are pretty good if you take away the interception, and Jones has rushed 14 times for 53 yards. So the Virginia offense has done pretty well statistically, but they have not converted their chances. Jones this time stacked up as he got to the 29-yard line. Brumbaugh was in on the stop. Man who started every game in nose tackle a year ago.
Yeah, he's an outstanding player. He played hurt in the Alabama game last year and had sprained knee and had 15 tackles. Freshman All-American at Auburn, and just gives you effort on every play.
Third down and 4 yards to go for Virginia, and what would seem to be a critical possession for the Cavaliers. Wilkins comes in to make it a 3-wide receiver set. Auburn comes with 5. Wilkins wide open. Midfield and more. It's a foot race. Wilkins to the 10, 5, touchdown. Terrence Wilkins broke all of Eric Metcalf's rushing marks at Bishop O'Connell High School in Arlington, Virginia. He was not very happy about the move from tailback to make himself a wide receiver. He might like it a little better right now.
Well, there was no one near him in coverage for Auburn. Had to be a busted coverage all the way. And when Aaron Brooks saw him out there, he was alone, and then it was a foot race, and they're not going to catch Terrence Wilkins.
The other thing that happened, Mike, is you could see Aaron Brooks look toward his first receiver, and the Auburn defense went right after him and left Wilkins all alone, and Brooks was sharp enough to hit him for the touchdown. 14-9 our score.
Sweet dream, baby. Sweet dream, baby. Sweet dream, baby. How long must I dream?
Sweet dreams from Doubletree.
Is that a new big king? No, it's a bag, Coach. No, in the bag, son. Yes, sir, it is.
Well, what's a smart kid like you doing sitting on the bench? Get in there and play quarterback.
Really?
Just like taking candy from a baby.
The new Big King from Burger King, plain broiled with 75% more beef. It's like a Big Mac, except it's bigger and tastes better. And right now, you can get one for just 99 cents.
Coach said I could play halfback.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Fortune 500 companies know that when it comes to renting a car, there's really only one place to go, National Car Rental. Because at most major airports in America, National gets you in your car and on the road fast. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. National Car Rental.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Burger King, where you can get your burgers worth, and by National Car Rental. You've got places to go. We've got the keys.
Virginia strikes quickly with the big play. Wilkins scores from 74 yards out, and it's 14-9. John Allen Roberts to kick to Markeith Cooper. Cooper from the 11. Shakes a couple of tackles, and he's off to the races. Brought down by a solid tackle from Williams at the 43-yard line. 32-yard run. Shannon Taylor missed him back near the 25.
Mike, third down situation. It looks like Houston has Terrence Wilkins man-to-man. Now all of a sudden, he peeks a little bit. If he's got him man-to-man, he lets him go right here. Now all of a sudden, Aaron Brooks finds Terrence Wilkins wide open. The foot race is on.
Scoring drive, 77 yards, 71, of course. Coming on the one play, and a new tailback for Auburn, a speedster, Sencade Pennington, number 40. Straight line speed. Craig down the middle, and drop right in the hands of Carson Bailey. Perfect throw by Damian Craig. Bailey had a step on Joe Williams, and he just flat dropped it.
Hit him in a bad spot, his hands, Mike, because Carson Bailey wide open on that play. He had Joe Williams beat. And the other thing was impressive, Damian Craig was under pressure. Good play action fake right here, but he's going to get pressure from the left side of your screen. There's the fake. Here comes the pressure from the outside. Patrick Kearney, number 58, ball right in the hands of Carson Bailey and just drops.
Bailey let it get into his body. Play action. Craig avoids the sack, airs it out again. Bailey again. This time he makes the catch. Touchdown. Stephen Phelan was right there, but this time no denying Carson Bailey, the junior, from Sharpsburg, Georgia, 57 yards.
Well, no one feels any worse than Karsten Bailey on the first one. He wanted a chance to redeem himself, but again, what made that play was Damian Craig. Speed getting outside of the Virginia defense, buying time to get the throw off, and he beat Stephen Phelan, who grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, an Alabama fan, so this game means an awful lot to him.
Jared Holmes for the point after. Missed opportunities in the first half, but not here in the third quarter. Both teams converting, and Auburn regains a 12-point lead. 3 touchdowns in the first 2:33 of the third quarter.
State Farm presents Rules of the Game.
We're talking about touchbacks. In this play, a member of the kicking team possesses the ball at the 1-foot line and runs into the end zone. What is the ruling?
I'm grateful that Michael Garcia is in our lives.
State Farm, Mike Garcia speaking.
We had a house fire, a house burned.
That was a tough day.
They didn't treat us as a policy holder, they treated us as a neighbor, as a friend.
I gave him a check right away. We went from there to putting the pieces back together.
He's not a hero in the sense of a sports hero or a movie star. He's a quiet hero. He looks out for everyone in the neighborhood.
It's gone from being a slogan to really being my way of life.
We're talking about touchbacks. In this play, a member of the receiving team possessed the ball at the 1-foot line. The play is dead. 1st and 10 for the receiving team.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You really want a cellular phone, but you're afraid of the service plans, activation, the true cost. So you go back and forth. Don't do that. Come into Radio Shack. We'll patiently explain everything you need to know about going cellular. You'll see that not only are cellular phones nothing to be afraid of, they're actually quite friendly. Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Activate now and get a Nokia phone with a car lighter adapter for $9.99.
Indiana faces North Carolina's wrecking ball defense and dynamite core of receivers. Indiana versus North Carolina, Saturday at noon on ESPN2. Roger.
Big plays galore in the second half. Auburn now with a 21-9 lead. Ahmad Hawkins is back to receive along with Wilkins. Another good kickoff, and Hawkins driven 9 yards deep.
That's a weapon there, Jared Holmes.
Here's the touchdown, Mike.
Here's the touchdown play. First, Damian Craig with the play-action fake. Now, what makes this play is he's able to get outside of Patrick Kearney. Now, look at how he is. Body, he has nothing but arm here to throw the football. No follow-through. And watch this catch, and good coverage by Stephen Phelan, but look at Karsten Bailey making a tough catch with a defender hanging on him for that touchdown. He made up for that.
He looked on the play before, he looked good on that one.
Certainly did.
Anthony Southern is the new tailback for Virginia. They'll go back to the air. This is the tight end, Casey Crawford. And the Cavaliers, you just have the feeling, have to answer on this drive, don't you?
I agree with you, Mike. When I was coaching, I always felt like when the opponent scored, you needed to take it right back and answer the score. You answer it right away. Takeo Spikes, number 55, in coverage. Stepping back, now he comes up to take on the tight end, Casey Crawford.
Kirby Mack is in as the fullback. This is the new tailback, Anthony Southern. Fighting for yardage up near the 28-yard line. They need to get to the 30 for a first down. Charles Dorsey was in on the tackle along with Neal.
Mike, we talked about it at the top of the program, though, but they were hit. Virginia was hit by a lot of heavy losses, but they still have high expectations here now. Auburn last year 8-4, and I told you that when you in the 50s and 60s, when you went 8-4, they threw a parade for you. Now they throw you out.
No ticker tape. 3rd and 2. Brooks to the air. Almost picked off again by Ryan Taylor. And he's done a great job of being in the right place at the right time and really reading the quarterback's eye.
On zone coverage, what you want the outside backer to do is just drop to his area. Ryan Taylor's dropping right there with his eyes on Aaron Brooks and almost had his second interception. That's not a good series for Virginia.
Now they have to kick it away with Frank Rotella.
Marquise Cooper's back, Mike. He ran a punt back.
He had a touchdown on a punt return in the spring game. That one's nearly blocked, hung up by Rotella, and out of bounds near the 40-yard line. They'll mark it at the 42. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Doctor?
Well, Michael, there's a crowd over 45,000 here tonight, and thanks to this man standing beside me, Carl Smith, next year and years to come, they will all have seats. It'll be many seats for more to come here at Scott Stadium. Carl Smith donated $25 million to the University of Virginia. Mr. Smith, what prompted that gift?
Well, it's a variety of things, but I felt the university and the athletic program both were headed in the right direction. Our football team is, over the last 10 years, has won 7 or more games every year. During that period of time, and actually there are only 7 other schools in the Division 1A that have had that good a record. And we've also done that with the graduation rate for the athletes in the school are close to 90%. By the same token, the university is a strong school academically, and they're a good lead for us to increase the strength of our athletic program. The university has, over the last 4 years, had approximately, 4 years straight, they've been #1 in the nation as far as public universities are concerned. And with that kind of a guide, the athletic program will try to meet the same kind of goals. And they've got a great coaching staff with a proven record. They have fans that are wanting to stop.
That's okay, Mr. Smith. We're just showing the folks the beautiful stadium they're going to build here, but we do appreciate the efforts, and I know that you being a football player here and giving that kind of impact in a new stadium here will certainly impact that program down the road. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay.
Mike Charles, this is lineman. Who said lineman's dumb? I mean, here's a guy giving $25 million to university.
Third down for Auburn. Complete to Bailey. He's got a first down to the Virginia 42-yard line. And for $25 million, I think you ought to get a little more airtime, don't you?
Well, that stadium that they're going to build is beautiful. And tonight, when you talk about that gift of $25 million, and equally important is Ronald Curry, the quarterback coming here.
Of course, he did it all at once. That money is all the University of Virginia. It's not like us where we would do it $25 a year for the next million years.
That's right. I know you get to West Virginia. Interested in that program. Don Nalen appreciates you.
Here comes the end around. Clifton Robinson and Virginia smell that one out. It's the eye-opener for your college football Saturday. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit get you up to speed for all you need to know. Plus these key features. Find out about the turbulence in Tallahassee. Take a close-up look at Washington's sack man and prepare with Bob Davie for his first ever game as the head coach of Notre Dame as they get set for Georgia Tech. And if 11:30 a.m. is your eye-opener on Saturday, you've been having too many late Friday nights.
Rough night. Bob Davie's going to do great at Notre Dame. He's an outstanding coach. I'm not sure about his ball club, whether they have the speed to contend this year, but we'll see.
2nd and 10. Craig dancing for extra yardage down to the 41.
Fans wanted to hold here.
Yeah,
called.
and I think they had every reason to.
I do. They felt like Damian Craig was benefited from a hold to get outside here. Damian Craig, who's certainly answering those people of why he's not on the 19 quarterbacks listed. There's the hold. Geno James, 78. They did get away with one. He has had a remarkable night.
Of Travis Griffith's jersey. 3rd and 8.
Well, Carson Bailey's been his key receiver. Let's see if he finds him again on 3rd and 8.
Bailey's to the near side. Pressure up the middle. They throw for Bailey. They say incomplete, and Bailey tosses the football up in the air. He said he had it.
Had him one-on-one here at the bottom. A single receiver on the side. He's open. Let's see if he made the catch or not. Going to curl right in front of Dwayne Stukes. I can't tell.
Did a nice job separating from Stukes, and Stukes did a pretty good job of coverage. Jared Holmes to punt, and Jones waits at his 10. High floater. Jones just getting out of the way, and this one will reach the end zone. So Virginia will start from the 20-yard line when we come back. 7:58 to go, third quarter. Cavaliers down by a dozen.
Sometimes the best things in life are free. AmSouth Bank now offers with any checking account free PC banking. You can also receive free telephone bill payment and an AmSouth check card, all free. Try us for 6 months and enjoy your free services. Remember, free PC banking, telephone bill payment, and a free check card for 6 months. Personally, just for you. We're AmSouth Bank, the relationship people. 3 Rome locations to serve you. 1400 Turner McCall Boulevard, 2101 Schroeder Avenue, and 3040 Martha Berry Highway.
ESPN's ride-along program revs up in Richmond. Jeff Gordon and his crew are running hotter than ever, but Mark Martin is matching him lap for lap. Come along for the ride. The Excite NASCAR Select Batteries 400, Saturday at 7:30 on ESPN.
Sunday night, the AL Central race reaches full speed. Robin Ventura and the Sox want a crack at the postseason, but they'll have to catch the Tribe to get an invite. White Sox Indians, the Sunday night baseball game of the week, Sunday at 8 on ESPN.
Auburn leading it by 12 with 7:58 to go, third quarter from Charlottesville. Cavaliers have the ball at their own 20. Play action by Brooks. Has time now. He has to scramble. Throws on the run and too far for his tight end, Casey Crawford. Had him wide open. Let's check in with Chris Fowler. Chris.
Mike, Terry Bowden's current school faring better than his former one. Samford up in Birmingham getting paddled by the 13th ranked team in 1AA, the Paladins of Furman. Look at Mark Surqua. 72-yard touchdown. The two-point try failed, but it's 22-3 Furman. Guys?
Terry Bowden was a legend at Samford. Look at that record, 45-23-1. Made the 1AA playoffs his last 2 years before moving to the Plains. Terrence Wilkins in as a wide receiver for Virginia on 2nd and 10. They'll go to the shotgun with Brooks. They want a screen. It's covered. Brooks threw it anyway, and Jones paid the price.
Haven Fields, a linebacker, number 54, was all over that screen. 2nd and long yardage. Number 54 right here, Haven Fields, is going to sit right in coverage. Now, he's got the running back. He's going to beat both those linemen and make that play on Thomas Jones.
That didn't fool as many people as Rue Paul. 3rd and 13.
Dangerous situation here for Virginia again.
Brooks in trouble. Gets away. Throws. Nearly had that one picked off. Threw it right in the hands of Jason Bray.
Good pressure by Charles Dorsey up inside. And this Auburn football team, you don't want to get in a long yardage situation on them because they're very dangerous with their speed. This is a ball club last year that had Alabama in pretty good shape with 26 seconds to go. They had the lead and then relinquished it with a 6-yard touchdown pass. So they had trouble protecting leads last season.
Rotell at a punt to Cooper. Good floater this time. Cooper driven all the way back to his 39. Can't find any blocking. Got it to the 44, and that's it. More college gridiron action on ESPN2 this Saturday. First at noon, big things expected from the Tar Heels of North Carolina. They return 9 starters to an outstanding defense. They open up at a refurbished Kenan Stadium against the Indiana Hoosiers. Then at 7 o'clock, Southern Miss, coming off a strong performance and a loss to Florida. They are favored in Big Ten country at Illinois. That's Saturday on ESPN2.
It's going to be a good league race here this year. Everybody, of course, is talking about North Carolina, and rightfully so, but they forget a little bit about Clemson. And how about NC State's win? Of course, always Bobby Bowden, Florida State. So, good league race in the ACC.
Sencade Pennington is the tailback. Throw it out in the flat. And it's Tyrone Dillard, the tight end. Let's go to Jerry Ponch. Jerry?
Guys, at halftime, Terry Bowden did a very nice job of talking to his football team. He said, you know, guys, everything we've planned for the year depends on what happens in the second half. I know we've had terrible field position twice inside our own 10 in the first half, twice inside our own 20-yard line, but we can get this offense rolling. And then Damian Craig stood up and challenged his football team. Showed a lot of senior leadership and said, we will get the offense going. And, of course, Terry Bowden said, if we get field position, we can open up and run the Auburn offense people are accustomed to seeing. That is indeed what they have done here early in the second half.
Well, Jerry, the important thing about Auburn right now, they blew leads to Army last year and Georgia and Alabama, and so they want to protect those leads.
They're up 21-9 right now. 6:12 to go, third quarter. Back in a moment.
It starts here. It starts here. It also starts here and here. And it all starts right here at Walmart, home of the EverStart battery, a powerful battery for trucks, cars, boats, and mowers that you can count on to start when you need it to. And since it's at Walmart, you can also count on a good price. EverStart. The name says it all.
What would you give to be more confident? What would you give for the knowledge it takes to move with certainty through every business day?
For just $3.90 a week, the Wall Street Journal gives you the incisive writing, the big picture thinking you need to make better decisions. More confident decisions. Plus, with your paid subscription, you'll get our updated guide to understanding personal finance. 170 pages of great money managing and money-saving ideas. Plus, our easy-to-use software. That's the guide and the software. A retail value of $18.95. Yours free with a 10-week subscription to the Journal. Get the confidence that comes from reading the world's most trusted source of business news and information. Call now, 800-376-2800. That's 800-376-2800 for the Wall Street Journal.
Terry Bowden has his ball club up 21-9 with 6:12 to go third quarter. Auburn has the ball at its own 47. Pennington hit in the backfield. Sencade Pennington with tremendous speed. Johnny Shivers, number 99, was in on the tackle.
And they've got a load up front. Shivers, number 99, took on the block. He was able to shed the block and make the tackle on Pennington. 99, Johnny Shivers just missed block right there. He's in the backfield, makes that tackle on Pennington. Colin Sears missed that block.
Strength of this Virginia defense is up the middle. It's the tackles, the middle linebacker, and the safety.
They need to keep Damian Craig in the tackle box. They can't let him outside because that buys some time for his wide receivers.
And he has killed them when he's gotten outside the end. Stands in the pocket, throws to Goodson, who makes a big catch and is drilled at the 35 by Poindexter, but he hung on. What a catch.
Mike, that's a great catch by Goodson. He had 6 touchdowns receptions in 96, and a great play by Anthony Poindexter, number 3, the safety, who may be the best athlete on this football field tonight. Number 3, you see him break on it? Wow. I mean, Ronnie Lott is his idol, and he made him proud tonight. He was 2 years ago, Texas. He played linebacker, and the Texas players voted him on the all-opponent team. lot of respect.
Goodson comes out, gets a deserved rest. And they'll go on the ground to Beasley, who's back in there at the fullback spot. He picks up a couple straight up the middle. Doesn't even look like there's any cobwebs. Goodson says, I'm just fine. Let me get back in there.
When they talk about the Auburn receivers, they talk about how well they block downfield. And when you block downfield, you go over the middle and make those catches because you're a tough receiver.
There's nothing more discouraging to a defensive back than to lay a lick like that on somebody and have the guy pop up right in front of you. Trying to make sure I think Goodson is all right. 2nd and 7. Craig straight back, stands in the pocket, throws short. Bailey will make the catch at the Virginia 27-yard line.
Damian Craig's in rhythm now. He just, he feels it. He started off very slowly, but now he's got a rhythm going. Says his goal is to be the best player at Auburn. He says, I know there's some great players, but that's my goal. Good catch by Karsten Bailey and a good tackle by Dwayne Stukes. Little quick throw, 3-step drop.
10 out of 16, 169 yards and a touchdown for Craig. He's made excellent decisions so far. 3rd and 2. Markeith Cooper is the tailback behind Beasley. Cooper on the toss. He's got room outside. And then Virginia hustling up from the secondary. The safeties, Phelan and Poindexter, came flying up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, we talked about Phelan and Poindexter, two good secondary backs. Phelan was a walk-on 4 years ago. Here's Poindexter, number 3. He's going to come up and fill this lane and make this tackle, but Auburn's in 4-down territory here if they choose to go for the 1st down. Well, I think they ran the ball on 3rd down. They got another shot to get that 1st down.
And they are going to go for it. 4th and just under a yard.
You go behind Victor Riley, number 68, the big load.
And it will be 1st down, Auburn inside the 25-yard line.
Well, you look at a quarterback sneak, but you look at this offensive line. 6'5", 313 Victor Riley. DeMarcus Curry, 6'5", 315. The left guard, T.J. Mears, is 6'6", 297. And the left tackle, Geno James, is 6'4", 300. So it's a pretty good line to get behind to run a quarterback sneak. And then you got T.J. Dunnigan in the middle, 6'3", 240.
Terry Bowden, who won his first 20 games. Don't believe these guys are immune to criticism. He said it still hurts when people say things on the radio, write things in the newspaper. Expectations are so high down there. Cooper spins out of one tackle and gets back near the line of scrimmage. There's a marker down. Haven't had many penalties here in the 2nd half. There were some big ones in the 1st half.
Before the snap, there's a dead ball foul, false start on the offensive line. Penalty 1st down.
Auburn was a victim of poor field position to start this ball game and couldn't generate anything on offense. They've got it cranked up now. The last 4 possessions, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Now they'll have a 1st and 15 after the procedure penalty. Goodson is back in the ball game along with Lowe at wide receiver.
Mike, they got an excellent tight end, Tyrone Dillard, should they decide to play action, try to get tight end out in the foul.
There was Dillard. The pass is overthrown and intercepted. Phelan at the 20. One of the few bad throws by Damian Craig, and Phelan athletic enough to get his hands under it for the turnover.
And you know that interception means a lot to Stephen Phelan because he said he grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, played out in the backyard. He was a Alabama fan. He said, I always dreamed about playing the Alabama-Auburn game. And I asked him, I said, who won? And he said, always Alabama when he was playing. So it's a big interception for him. Wally Rayner with good pressure on Damian Craig. A mistake by Damian Craig.
Virginia gets an opportunity with 1:46 to go, 3rd quarter. Brooks hesitates, then throws deep. And it's caught by Jermaine Fuller. Got single coverage, waited as long as he could, and then hung it up.
Well, you knew they were going to try that eventually. actually 3-4 times tonight. But what made this play was the route that Jermaine Crow ran. He set Jason Bray up. He gave him a stutter step. Set this play up and got Jason Bray to jump on the out route and hit the streak route for a big gain.
And Bray is 5'10". Crowell, 6'4". 4 catches, 83 yards tonight for Crowell. Southern, the tailback, pushed back after he reached the 33, gain of maybe a yard. Big kid, 6 feet, 239, and Neal knocked him straight back. Southern not really a true tailback style runner.
This is where Virginia's had some problems.
Crowell is out and Wilkins is in for the Cavaliers on second. They'll call it 10. Sean Jones is checked in as the third wide receiver. He's flying to the top of the screen. See if Auburn comes with pressure. Four-man rush, now fifth linebacker. Intended for Wilkins and too far.
Well, Auburn is just challenging the receivers of Virginia at the line of scrimmage. Blitzing, putting pressure on Aaron Brooks, trying not to give him time. There's Martavius Houston jumping on Terrence Wilkins, 7, trying to stay with him just long enough that the pressure of the front four gets to Aaron Brooks.
This is the 6th time the Virginia offense has been in Auburn territory. They only have 7 points to show for all those trips. 2 points came on a safety. 3rd and 10. Brooks under pressure, dumps it to Southern. Nothing here. Nice tackle by Jason Bray.
Mike, I think you have to think in terms of 4 downs here. I think you got to go for this.
You need 2 touchdowns. Down 21-9. And they have squandered several opportunities already, and I don't think there's any question in George Welch's mind. He agrees with you.
And I think you're going to look for Jermaine Crow somewhere here because he's a senior. He's a veteran wide receiver.
Do you like any kind of rollout here?
I like to get him outside because I know the pressure's going to come. It may come from outside here. You know Auburn's going to heat him up.
4th and 9. Looking Crowell's way. Instead, it's Wilkins. And Wilkins at the 24. That is awfully close to the first down sticks. It all depends on the mark.
What do you
bring
think,
the
Mike?
chains in?
You're usually right on this. What do you think?
I think where they marked it, he's short.
The crowd thinks that too. They're booing.
We were sort of screened by the Virginia players. Here's a better look at it, perhaps.
With a lot of zip on that pass. Terrence Wilkins.
Well, he obviously dove inside that 24-yard line. They mark it back in the line. He is short.
Looked like maybe his arm hit there where they spotted the ball, in fairness.
So a big stand for Auburn. They take over on downs at the 24-yard line. And there's only 8 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Another missed opportunity for the Cavaliers. And, Mike, I've always had the theory you only get so many chances in life and in games, and I think Virginia may have used this up.
Well, you talked about early in the ball game and those drives early in the game that they didn't come away with any points. It comes back to haunt you all the time.
Toss to Pennington. They get it out to about the 27, maybe the 28-yard line, and that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Number 18, Auburn in hostile territory, leading it 21-9 over Virginia. Back in a moment.
When you buy a new Honda 4Trax 300, 300 4x4 or the rugged Foreman 400. You can see something you just won't see on any other ATV. Your choice of 7.9% APR financing and no down payment. Or a pair of incredible German precision optic Steiner binoculars. Now you can see why Honda ATVs are the best on earth.
I am the first solar-powered woman, charged, converting light to power and performance. Consistent, only interrupted by brief moments of spontaneous combustion. Discus Athletic, compete on every field.
What the world needs is more mirrors. More mirrors to take in your arms, legs, pecs, and tracts. Look, is the mirror asking for more? GNC's Pro Performance Weight Gainer 1850. 1,850 calories with protein and amino acids and vitamins. Calories that give the mirror what it wants. Low-fat Pro Performance Weight Gainer 1850. Exclusively at General Nutrition Centers. GNC. Live well.
Jenny, would you do me the honor? No. Jen, babe, you, me, prom. Yeah. Hi, hello. How you doing? Nope.
Kelly Springfield tires are designed to go a long way.
No. Jenny, would you go to the prom with me?
And we've got the warranties to prove it. So go.
Jenny, you go to the prom with me? Oh. And can I use your phone? My car's out of gas.
Kelly Springfield. Get every mile you can out of life.
With text messaging, Direct Connect, two-way radio for instant contact.
Time's been changed to 3. Call Wilson right away.
Got it.
Right, 3.
And digital cellular for the ultimate in wireless security.
The time's been moved to 3.
On my way.
Nextel lets you accomplish even the most difficult business objectives.
Let's do it.
Get smart. Get Nextel, the national all-digital wireless network.
Welcome back to Charlottesville, Virginia. Mike Patrick, Mike Godfrey, Dr. Jerry Punch with you, and George Welsh finds himself on the short end of a 21-9 score with 15 minutes to go. Terry and his Tigers on top by a dozen. And Auburn football after the defensive stand at the 32. Craig in the shotgun. Pennington is his running back. Craig throws that one off his back foot and completes it to Goodson. The senior out of Brooksville, Florida, who had that great catch over the middle. Phelan makes the tackle.
Well, what must be going through that young man's mind is Stephen Phelan. You grow up in Montgomery, Alabama, in the middle of great college football. Terry Bowden recruited him at Sanford. He walks on here. Chet Moeller, the PA announcer at his high school games, called George Welsh and said, you know, you should take him. And he went from a walk-on to an indispensable safety.
And said he has had dozens of dinner offers from Alabama fans that the Cavaliers will beat Auburn. Looking a little shaky right now.
Delay a game. It's tough on a quarterback when you don't have that clock on.
Because there's so many things going through your mind as a quarterback.
Delay of game. Offense, penalty 5 yards, 3rd down.
Yeah, when it's not visual, you just forget about it.
I'll make it 3rd and 11. Big play here for Virginia. They need to get the football back in the best possible field position they can. Straight 4-man rush. No pressure on Craig. Right down the middle. Wide open is Bailey. 10-5 touchdown. 77 yards to Karsten Bailey. And how do you get that wide open on 3rd and long?
And Mike, how about the flight of that football? In the distance that ball was thrown. And watch Carson Bailey. He doesn't miss a beat. That ball's perfect. Just got between Anthony Poindexter and Joe Williams.
But it looked like Williams was in a zone and let him go, and the safety never showed up in time. 77 yards.
Good pass protection by the Auburn offensive line. Allowed the time for Damian Craig to hit that long throw.
Bailey now with 2 touchdowns, 151 yards on 4 catches. And the 18th-ranked Tigers have now taken a 28-9 lead as Damian Craig is on fire in the second half.
I wasn't looking for love. With just a glance it happened. Love came looking for me. Get out of my
Dockers, khakis.
Explosive legs. Bone-snapping jaws. A massive reinforced neck. Flesh-shredding teeth. All controlled by a brain incapable of remorse. The Lost World. You're the T-Rex.
Is that a new Big King? No, it's a bag, Coach. No, in the bag, son. Yes, sir, it is. Well, what's a smart kid like you doing sitting on the bench? Get in there and play quarterback. Really? Like taking candy from a baby.
The new Big King from Burger King, flame broiled with 75% more beef. It's like a Big Mac, except it's bigger and tastes better. And right now, you can get one for just 99 cents.
Coach said I could play halfback.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the 3 most important words are, hey, beer man.
Virginia now down by 3 scores as Carson Bailey has had a huge game along with Damian Craig, especially in the second half. Ahmad Hawkins at the 11. Got to the outside, but too late and chased out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Well, it's slipping away from the Cavaliers, and you can see that with the lack of experience on this ball club has hurt them, although their veteran guys are some of the guys who have made the poor plays that have hurt them tonight.
Well, Mike, you mentioned that when you have a young football team and they lost a lot here, and the coaches were concerned that when things go bad on the football field, Tiki Barber's not here, Jamie Sharper's not here, Ferrier's not here, so somebody has to grow into that position of stopping the flow when things go bad.
Jones is the deep man in the eye behind quarterback Aaron Brooks. Brooks straight back to throw. Guns this one, but it's tipped, and it looked like Quentin Reese got a hand on it. He or Terrence Crowder. The comparison between the two, well, both of them have done a better job than the yards rushing would indicate because of their mobility.
Yeah, I think Auburn's offense has been entirely Damian Craig tonight. Neither team's really been able to establish a sound running game, which puts pressure on the quarterback.
And Terry Bowden said he can't be the whole offense this year, just part of it. They haven't established the rest of it yet, as you pointed out. 4-man rush. Underneath to the tight end. He's got the first down, does Casey Crawford. Let's go to Jerry Punch. Jerry?
Coming in tonight, the Cavalier offensive coaches were very concerned about trying to maintain and build on the confidence of their young quarterback, Aaron Brooks. You know, in the first half, Brooks looked pretty lively on the sidelines. Here in the second half, the last 2 times they've come off, he has gone to the sideline phones, talked to the coaches upstairs,
lowered his head, and walked away. Well, Mike, that's what Sparky Woods, the offensive coordinator, talked about. He said, I know he's worked hard, so I know he's going to go into the game confident. I want him to come out. This is a long season. This is the first game of a quarterback that's really starting for the first time. I think he's played well.
On 1st and 10, he goes out to Wilkins. Wilkins drilled at the 40-yard line. It's a big hit by Antoine Nolan, but Wilkins able to hang on. Wilkins has had a good ball game.
He really has.
And you need that when you've got a guy like Crowell on the other side. You need somebody to complement him.
Yeah, because you're going to get bracketed on the other side if you're Jermaine Crowell, and you need somebody on the other side. That's Antoine Nolan with a great stick on Terrence Wilkins.
Scrimmage, it's 5 yards. Procedure penalty, repeat first down.
But they lose the play, and it will be 1st and 15 on a procedure call.
And Auburn's kept Jermaine Crowell in balance pretty well in this ball game. He caught the one deep ball, but I think you're going to see as the season goes on, Jermaine Crowell, as he got hot late last season, again down the field more, catching a little bit more deeper footballs.
1st and 15. We approach 12 and a half minutes to go in the game. Run a little option. And Brooks got caught up in traffic inside and goes down after a gain of 1.
Marcus Washington, they had a lot of injuries at Auburn defensively last year, and that was the negative. But the positive is you get a lot of players playing, and this is a football team. Now, you look at Virginia, they come back and they lose all those stars. Auburn returns 18 to 22 starters, both their kickers. So you talk about an experienced football team to open up the season with. This was not a good match for George Welsh in the first ball game.
2nd and 14. Wilkins gets it out to about the 39. You talk about those Auburn starters, Mike. They've got 10 guys back who are starters, and Ryan Taylor, who was a part-time starter at safety, he moves to linebacker. So really, you've got 11 guys in there who started in one position or another last season.
And a defense led by that man, number 55, Takeo Spikes. You got to have some great players on the field, and you got to have leadership. And the leadership of this Auburn defense starts right with number 55, Takeo Spikes.
And still, this is a sophomore and junior-dominated team, so the future is even brighter. Brooks waited too long, tries to throw it away, and does. Did a good job of avoiding the sack. Quentin Reese had him around the collar.
When you look at linebackers, Quentin Reese is on pressuring Aaron Brooks. He got to Aaron Brooks, and then you look at Takeo Spikes. Now, linebackers blitz. Every now and then you pick up the tight end, hold him a little bit so he can't get by. Casey Crawford, grab a little jersey. And you wonder why he wasn't open. He was being held coming across the middle.
And Reese just body slammed the quarterback. And now Rotello will punt. And Marquise Cooper waits back at his 20-yard line. Returnable kick, but the fair catch signal made outside the 15-yard line. 28-9 Auburn, 10:53 to go from Charlottesville.
I never lost my love of football, just some quickness. Zoom Air gives me the chance to pursue a dream and feel low to the ground, speedy. And I'll need speed to play with guys like them. I'll take this, too.
Oh, the Jets. They're good.
We beat the Colts.
Another strong team.
Putting on my Zoom Air shoes that day, I could feel some of the old Namath nimbleness start to return.
Adjustable rear suspension, 600cc, fully automatic transmission. Grizzly by Yamaha, the ultimate ATV.
get it on in Morgantown. East Carolina, West Virginia. Saturday at 12:30. Only on ESPN.
Victor Riley in the center of that screen fills it up pretty good at 6'5", 313. He is the star on Auburn's offensive line. And they are up 28-9 here in Charlottesville.
Rick Trickett, the offensive line coach, says he can be the best ever at Auburn.
Got Marquise Cooper back in at tailback, and Cooper will get the carry in Auburn. You'd think Terry Bowden would like to establish something on the ground right now.
Damian Craig's night. We talked about in the open his ability to tuck the football down this year and decide when to run the football. Here he scores. And also the identical play that we showed in the opening, that he did this very same thing last year. Good coverage by Phelan, but a nice strong throw to Karsten Bailey for the touchdown. He's got a great arm, and if you're going to play Damian Craig, you better keep him in those tackle boxes and not let him outside, because he makes you extend the field when he rolls out.
247 yards passing. Auburn as a team has only rushed for 51 tonight. They'd like to balance that up a little bit. They're going to need it the rest of the season. You just can't throw the ball all the time, as they certainly learned a year ago. There's a flag down on this play.
You know, it's probably going to be holding, which I'm sure this drive, Rodney Allison, the offensive coordinator, said, we want to run the football. Because that's the way you protect leads.
Sure.
28-9 against a pretty good football team here. You want to run the clock.
Holding, offense, penalty be from the spot of the foul, half the distance down.
It's Rodney Allison, the offensive coordinator. When I was an assistant coach back in 1977 at Arizona, Tony Mason was the head coach, a great coach. Rodney Allison came in at Texas Tech and beat us, and I asked him, I said, you ruined the Saturday night for me. He said, I remember it very well. They only remember the wins. Coaches remember the losses.
Absolutely. 2nd and 17. Quarterbacks remember the win. And they'll blow this play dead.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense. Penalties half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
Check in with Chris Fowler. Chris, what do you have?
Well, guys, down in Birmingham, the long night for Samford continues. This is Mark Surqua for Furman, his second touchdown of the night. 29-3 for the number 13th ranked team in 1AA.
I still think they have the best nickname in football. The Purple Paladins, that's pretty tough to beat.
And they've been a very successful 1AA program. Dick Sheridan, former North Carolina State coach, that's where he started his career before he went to state.
Second and 22. Cooper gets it out to about the 8 or 9 yard line. The one thing Auburn trying to avoid down here is making a big mistake. Tomorrow we'll have second round coverage from the Royal Montreal Golf Club as the PGA stops north of the border. A lot of prize money at stake. Here's how they stand after one round. Robert Damron, 5 under par, and he has the lead over a list of stalwarts: Norman, Furyk, and Payne Stewart, all at 4 under par. Second round action coming your way tomorrow. 3rd and long. They'll blow this play dead.
Mike, we don't have a ball game Saturday night on ESPN. Of course, Jerry Punch will be busy on ESPN. I'm sure Ron Franklin's taking the night off. He's going to go see Texas play, and I'm sure you'll be glued.
Dead ball, false start on the offensive line. Penalties half the distance.
Looking at West Virginia again this week.
I'll be glued to 3 different television sets. I take it all in. Of course, Jerry will be
big race.
Big race. Everybody's so concerned about Dale Earnhardt. Our best wishes go out to him. 3rd and 22. They'll play it safe. Cooper on the draw, and he's got running room. Out to about the 14-yard line.
Nicknamed the Lizard, Marquise Cooper, 5'7", 160. He said he can scoot through a hole, and they're looking for big things out of him. Big plays, big running plays.
Between 4.35 and 4.4 speed. Cavaliers with 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they come.
They need another punt block.
Jones waiting back at the 45. And Jared Holmes' job is just to get it out of there, and he does. Jones will signal fair catch. Fumbled it, but pounced on it at the Auburn 46. So Virginia again with excellent field position, but only 7:56 to go in the game, and the Cavaliers down 28-9.
Y'all ready for this?
It continues. Heritage Nissan is having a massive 97 inventory reduction sale. All new 97s in stock will be sold regardless, with a $2,000 rebate on all trucks, Sentras, and 200 SXs. Hurry while the selection is good. If you haven't seen it yet, come see how really big the 98 Altima really is. We're Heritage Nissan, 1321 Martha Berry Boulevard. The only name you'll ever need on your car, Heritage.
Y'all ready for this?
Unemployed, need to work on a job that won't hurt. I got bills to pay, so let yours go away. I won't accept any less. Change my life, TPS.
If you're looking for work, let TPS change your life. We make it easy to find the perfect job with more money, more benefits, and more security. For clerical or light industrial employment, call TPS today.
I won't accept any less. Change my life, TPS.
This here is the new Kids Center. It fosters a family atmosphere.
Today, we're going to read The Rumble in the Jungle Book.
And when your teacher's the reigning WBA champ, you're going to listen. Wait a minute.
I don't care what you're seeing on TV. No biting.
Virginia will look back on this game as one of missed opportunities. This is the 7th time they have been in Auburn territory. They have scored 1 touchdown, and they had a safety on the opening series of the game.
Mike, Thursday night football, as you look at their offense, just what you were talking about, great night for everybody to watch football. The high schools play tomorrow night. They watch this. The college teams that are getting ready for Saturday. A lot of teams traveling tomorrow. Just a big night in Auburn and Virginia. They're playing tonight. They're recruiting tonight. They're doing all the things necessary to bring attention to their programs.
And Auburn, after a tough start, has really made a statement tonight. Brooks, and not a good pass for Thomas Jones coming out of the backfield.
The All-American on defense for Auburn is Takeo Spikes out of Georgia. Mr. Football when he was in high school, and see him meet the tailback in the hole. Put pressure on the quarterback, Aaron Brooks. Coverage on the tight end. They can attack on Casey Crawford. He's been all over this football field. But more important, Mike, he gives leadership to that defense. Young defense. Need a leader? Right there he is.
Even with all the veterans back, it is a very young defense. 2nd and 10. Draw play to Jones. Room. Jones with a nice cut inside the 35 to about the 32-yard line. Ware and Bray have to come up to make the tackle. It's a gain of 13. And something to build on for the Cavaliers with that running game.
Yeah, Mike, still time over, really. You need a couple big plays here. You got Crowell, 17, a chance to hit him, but they're not all this ball game yet. Brad Ware injured.
All SEC freshman a year ago comes up limping. And it's the one thing you can't plan for, the one thing you can't coach, and that's injuries. You're trying to stay just as healthy as you can. Geez, you just hate to see kids go down. And they're working on that left knee. We've got a timeout, 7:39 to go in the ballgame. 28-9 Auburn here in Charlottesville.
At first, my wife was worried. She kept saying something about my knees.
You have artificial knees.
But then I told her about Zoom Air. It's lower to the ground, more responsive. The air unit springs back in 31/100ths of a millisecond.
You could run away from people faster.
Or dance around in the pocket, sprint for a first down.
or run away from people faster.
I wouldn't be making this comeback without her blessing and my super-fast Lumiere shoes.
Got him.
Yeah, if I could only see.
I've got the perfect thing.
The Bosch Micro Edge Excel has a revolutionary dual rubber wiping element.
Move to the left a little.
It's the best cleaning, longest lasting blade we've ever made. Bosch Micro Edge Excel, the most advanced wiper system ever.
Beautiful. But I think we lost the headlight.
Inside your car's fuel system, there's a constant battle between good and evil. So if you have a dirty fuel system, none of these dark forces can match the power of STP Complete Fuel System Cleaner. STP's most technologically advanced fuel system cleaner ever. Dirt has met its match. STP Complete Fuel System Cleaner.
Virginia's only lead in this game was 2-0 after the blocked punt on the first Auburn offensive series. They're down 28-9. They've got a 1st and 10, however, at the Auburn 33. 7:33 to go in the ball game. Brooks with time, double clutches, and then throws complete. This time to Brian Owen, the senior from Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Let's go to Jerry Pond.
Good news from the Auburn bench. Sophomore free safety Brad Ware took a helmet on the inside of the left knee. Talked to Dr. Larry Lamack and Goodlet over here on the sideline. He said he should be back in. Just a mild bruise on the inside of the left knee. He should be back in a play or two.
Jerry, to put us out for 3 weeks, wouldn't it? That one in between two defenders, tried to squeeze it into Crowell.
No greater teachers than going to the tape tomorrow. When they come back, the coaches, Sparky Woods, Paul Shadell, the offensive group, will take Aaron Brooks and showing the bad throws that he made tonight, but they'll also talk about the good throws that he made. And George Welsh, former quarterback, knows it just takes a little time.
George Welsh was a terrific quarterback at the Naval Academy. I mean, 3rd in the Heisman voting when he was a senior.
For high top.
Still does. Brooks on the scramble, throws for Wilkins. And Wilkins fighting for extra yardage, gets it down to the 11-yard line. Nolan and Houston combine on the stop.
Good tackle by Antoine Nolan, number 13, didn't allow him to get to the sticks for the first down.
I'm sure it'll come for Brooks, but you want to see him anticipate those routes a little more than wait for the guy to come open.
Well, you look back at last year, and when Aaron Brooks, all the things I've read, he said, you know, it was a wasted year for me. I was splitting time, and I just didn't feel like I ever got in the rhythm.
3rd and 3. Blitz from the blind side. They'll blow the play dead. Had a lot of this here in the second half. And Auburn has requested a timeout and gotten it with 6:27 to go on a 3rd and 3 play.
Pressure on this Auburn football team coming into this opener.
6:27 to go in the game. Back in a moment.
The NFL is back, and it's better than ever. Now, Sports Illustrated wants you to grab on to the ultimate football package. 3 great football gifts, a limited edition NFL Team Sports Watch, and the official video of your favorite team, both free with your paid subscription. Plus, SI's Pro Football Spectacular, free when you use your credit card.
Gotta have it! Gotta have it!
Your rugged Team Sports Watch is water-resistant and features the logo of your favorite team. Whether you want a classic or a hot new design, the choice is yours. With your official NFL team video, you'll get amazing highlights you won't want to miss. Call now. Get 54 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 57% off the cover price.
But we're not done yet.
Use your credit card and we'll also send you SI's own Pro Football Spectacular free. It's the ultimate football package, free from Sports Illustrated and nowhere else. Get into it.
Promotional consideration provided by National Car Rental, the official car rental company of ESPN.
Time has become a factor for the Cavaliers. 6:28 left. They are driving, facing a 3rd and 3 deep in Auburn territory. Auburn shows blitz. And here they come. Jones, if he had cut that one outside, it looked like he had some running room. They need to reach about the 9-yard line for a first down. He stopped at the 10 by Quentin Reese. And now Virginia, timeout here. You hate to waste those timeouts, but you've got to get this play.
Yeah, it's big here, right here for this first down. When you got an inexperienced quarterback and an inexperienced offense, you want to make sure of this call. Virginia going into the last play, Mike, has 326 yards in total offense. Great field position all night, 1 touchdown. The difference.
You know, college football is here when you get a slate like this. Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, a quintet of regional games, starting off with Peyton Manning and the Volunteers heading out to the Rose Bowl to take on UCLA. Washington against Brigham Young, also with national implications. And then in prime time, the Florida State Seminoles and Thad Busby bring their aerial attack against USC. Number 5 against number 21. Florida State 7-0 during this decade in openers. USC has not been as fortunate, only 4-5-1 in the last 10 years. Bobby Bowden hasn't played a Pac-10 team in a long time. Mike, you've got this controversy with Pitt getting ready to play Penn State, and Pitt won't send them the films of last week's game. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't have sent it either. I mean, they didn't play, so you play. The advantage is Penn State. They had a chance to sit back while you didn't play. So no, I wouldn't send it either.
4th and a yard. Crowell, touchdown. You almost get the feeling they could do that anytime they want because he's so big and he leaps so well.
And he has the advantage when you get down there inside the 15, 20-yard line. Jason Bray, number 4, is 5'10". It gets to be another Michael Irvin type thing in the end zone where you get the leaper. Number 17, Jermaine Crow, 6'5", against 5'10", uses his body for the touchdown.
George Wells said he had to catch 5 or 6 passes a game for them to be successful. Tonight, 5 for 93 and a touchdown.
And Mike, I'll tell you what's going through Auburn's mind right now. And again, that last year when they blew those leads.
They'll go for 2. 3 wide receivers set. Into the end zone. Crow wide open. 2-point conversion. How does he get that wide open? That's the one guy you've got to cover.
Over the middle and made a catch, and this is a good confidence builder, but I still say they're still in this football game. Jermaine Crow over the middle, number 17, just somebody, the linebackers just leave him sitting back there in zone coverage. Another busted coverage, and this is great for Aaron Brooks. They still have 2 timeouts. There's 6:13 left to go in this ball game. A couple onside kicks away from getting back in this thing.
It's an 11-point lead with 6:13 to go. The reason they went for 2 is if they can get another touchdown and a 2-point conversion, they're within a field goal. Let's go to Chris Fowler. Chris?
Eugene, instant fireworks here for the Ducks on the opening kickoff of the season. That's the do-it-all seniors, Salad and McCullough. Weaving through the Wildcats. Look out, that's a kicker right there. He's not going to catch him. 7-zip. Oregon jumps on top. What a way to start a season. Back to Charlottesville.
The 1997 Quack attack is underway. George Welsh feeling a little bit better about his ball club now within 28-17. Do you go for an onside kick here with 6:13 to go?
Yeah, I think you do because the way Auburn has moved the ball, they've stopped themselves with penalties here in the second half.
Auburn is anticipating if they have 9 men up near the 45-yard line. Kick it deep. Instead, Virginia will kick it deep. Robinson all the way back to the 4. trying to get outside and knocked out of bounds at the 20. When you kick it deep in that formation, it's impossible to get a wedge back there for blocking.
No, what you do, Mike, is you line up, you anticipate the onside kick. So once the ball goes over the first group of linemen and backs, so forth, then it becomes a wedge all the way. Everybody retreats back, tries to pick up what they can pick up. You get what you can get with the wedge up inside. Now, here's where the pressure comes to mount on Terry Bowden and Auburn. Can they run the football, run the clock, and keep the ball away from Virginia?
And the last thing you say when you break the huddle, hold on to the ball. Cooper and Beasley are the backs. Cooper found a seam and got up to the 25-yard line, brought down by Byron Thweet, number 32.
You make a good point, Mike, because you do talk about holding on to football, double clutch it, whatever, because on defense now, they're taught to go for the football. They're tackling football, trying to pull it out with 5:41 on the clock.
You know, some backs hate to hear that. Don't remind me about holding on to the ball.
Almost
hold
like
on
putting
to the
a
ball.
negative in their mind.
Plant the seed. 2nd and 5. Clock running, 5:24 to go. Play action by Craig, in trouble, and they got it.
Interesting call there at 2nd and 5, trying to fake out the Virginia defense a little bit, but Travis Griffith, number 95, is going to play Damian Craig right from the start of the football play. Can't get outside of him. Good pressure inside by Johnny Shivers, and the sack put him in 3rd and long.
Could have found a better word to use than interesting on the call, couldn't he? I could. That was strange.
They were trying to catch the Virginia defense, figuring that they're going to run the football, trying to get outside with a good short, safe pass.
See what they do on 3rd and 12. Send Cade Pennington as the new tailback. He'll get it. And swarmed under at the 22, so they'll force a punt. The clock continues to run. By the time they kick it away, we'll be under 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's the problem with kicking it deep, because you're going to lose 2-3 minutes. But they're still going to get the ball back right here again. They need a big return.
Big return or a block. They came after them last time, and remember, they blocked the first punt of the night. 10 men at the line of scrimmage.
They need one big play to get back in this football game.
Holmes got it out of there in a pretty punt, too. Jones signals for the fair catch back at the 34. So the Cavaliers still down 2 scores, and they have 3:50 to get them. Following the game, Rich Eisen and Kenny Mayne have Sports Center for you to wrap up all the day's sports news and highlights, including the Yankees and the Orioles. We'll take a look at the U.S. Open tennis tournament, and the 49ers named their starting quarterback. Steve Young having the problems with those concussions. We talked to him last year, very concerned about it, and his future not only as a football player, but as a family man. They go up the middle to Kirby, and Kirby to the 41, trying to catch them dropping back into pass coverage.
Well, Jerry Punch talked about in the first half, they didn't do a real good job with the 2-minute offense. So let's see if they do a better job here with the 2-minute offense. Paul Shadell, the offensive line coach, is signaling to go to the 2-minute offense. They got 3:28 left to go on the clock and 2 timeouts. Still 1 score away. Again, Mike, I keep mentioning they get back in this thing.
Get a steady dose of Crowell right now, no matter who's covering. They go to the other side, complete it to Brian Owen. That'll stop the clock on the first down with 3:13 to go. It's a gain of 14.
Well, Brian Owen is a very good route runner. He's another former walk-on. Came out, ran a 4.6 for the coaches, got their eye. He averaged 17.7 catches, yards per catch last year.
Brooks throws that one to low, and they're going to call it a catch. Crowell has it down at the 35-yard line. It's short of a first down, so the clock continues to run.
Auburn playing a little passive back there, trying to Let them make the catches, keep that clock moving, and make them the tackle in front.
Timeout situation. The Cavaliers still have 2. Brooks chased out of the pocket, trying to make something happen. Throws incomplete for Crowell. Takeo Spikes applying the pressure. And a good job by Brooks just to back out of the tackle till he could unload it.
Yeah, Mike, and you look for big plays out of your star players. And Takeo Spikes, again, reading the eyes of Brooks. Now he sees he's moving out of the pocket. Now he comes on. Just gets in his face, hits his hand as he's trying to go to Jermaine Crowell again.
2:27 to go. Virginia down by only 11. 3rd and a yard. They've got to get the first down. Will they go to the run? They go to the quarterback keeper. They have the first down. That'll stop the clock. One thing Virginia's doing here, and it may have to do with the inexperience, they're spending a lot of time between plays.
They're at the line of scrimmage here. They're waiting for the signal from the sideline. They're set in the formation. They're not moving around formation-wise. They're just taking a little long time to make the count. You're right, Mike. Spend a little bit longer than their coaches would like.
4-man rush. Throw underneath to Jones, and that won't get him anything. He stops at the 31-yard line. Neal and Houston were right there on defense, and now Virginia is going to use the timeout. And unfortunately for the Cavaliers, those are the timeouts they're going to need to stop the clock if Auburn gets the ball back, if or when.
Yeah, and if you score right here, which they've got a good shot at scoring, then you go again for 2 points, then you've got the onside kick. That's when you need to.
Yeah, that's when you have to go for the onside kick.
But this timeout's being called because, again, an inexperienced quarterback trying to bring him along.
This has got to give Brooks some confidence because he is making a move here in the 4th quarter and running this offense very, very well. And there's the timeout situation again. Only 1 for each club. Of course, Auburn, probably the last thing they're going to do is call a timeout.
Yeah, no.
There's Damian Craig, who's had the big second half.
Mike, you almost figure they got to try to go to the end zone with Crowell.
Absolutely.
They had a good play with him just a little bit ago, and
the numbers are mounting with Brooks. 23 out of 37. There you see it, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, the 1 interception. He had another interception taken away on a roughing penalty. 2:06 to go. They have reached the Auburn 31-yard line. Crowell comes to the near side, Owen to the far side.
Let's see if they try to go up on top of Crowell.
Wilkins goes in the slot. And this may be another delay penalty. Again, with that play clock off.
Game offense, 5-yard penalty.
That's a quick 25 seconds there.
Sure was. And Jordan Welsh is livid. It did seem to be a quick count, didn't it?
Yeah, from the time they came on the football field.
2nd and 12. They'll throw this one deep into the end zone. Nearly intercepted, almost picked off by Nolan. And he ran a good cover against Brian Owen.
Antoine Nolan, number 13, he's reading takeoff right off the bat. He's not faked out at all by this route. Stays right with him, almost with the hip.
Damian Craig turns cheerleader with the defense on the field. And he's well aware of those comebacks against the Tigers last year. 3rd and 12. Brooks throws short. Kirby will get it inside the 30 and got out of bounds. Good job by Kirby to get out of bounds and stop the clock inside the 30. Spikes and Casher couldn't stop it.
Charles Kirby, in 4 years, Mike, he's had 22 carries. He caught 4 passes in 32 games, so an inexperienced fullback also. But who makes the play on Charles Kirby? All over the field, the Butkus candidate, Takeo Spikes.
Kirby gets the ball once every 3 or 4 games, whether he needs it or not. 4th down, Cavaliers have to go for it. 4th and 5. throws over the middle and too high, intended for Owen, but he missed him. And Virginia will turn it over on downs. Had him open.
May have been able to run for that first down, too. Again, talked about it all evening, the education of a quarterback. He won't make that mistake again next week.
And that was probably the last gasp for the Cavaliers with only 1:47 to go and one timeout to use. Auburn with the opportunity to run out the clock. And a sellout crowd has come to its feet and starting to file out of Scott Stadium here in Charlottesville.
It's Rick Lance, the defensive coordinator, talking to George Welsh. I think they have to be pleased. Now, they obviously felt like they could win this football game. But with all the replacements they've made, they're going to be a formidable team to play.
George Welsh said yesterday, you know, these intersectional games with ranked opponents are really good ways to start the season if you win.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Thursday night games are important. If you win them, boy, it's a smooth sailing to the next game because you get the extra couple of days. But if you lose them, it's tough because you got a long time to sit with this defeat. And George Welsh talked about it. I asked him, I said, how long are you going to coach? He said, I want to see that big crowd of 60,000. So
right.
As long as they take that stadium to be built, he's here.
Courtesy of Mr. Smith's gift that would enlarge this place with 60,000 seats. Pennington again just hanging on to the ball. Let's go down to Jerry Punch.
You know, Virginia coach George Welsh said he's not been afraid just to open the season against ranked opponents. If you look at his record over the years, said, you know, you don't learn much against playing some of them a lesser division or someone that's weak. You do learn by playing teams like Michigan, Florida State, Notre Dame, Georgia, and Clemson. Yeah, look at all 5 of those games. They lost them all, but what that graphic doesn't tell you was that each one of those years, they came back and won 8 football games and went to a postseason bowl. He said, we opened tough against good opponents, and we come back strong during the season.
Jerry, there aren't many people in this business with as much respect as George Welsh. He has done it with dignity and honor at Navy and at the University of Virginia. 2 places where they said, you can't win. He did at both. And with 2 more conference wins, he will have 1 more, or 3 more conference wins, will have 1 more ACC games than any coach that ever coached here. He has also gone over 100 wins. Nobody who coached in the ACC has done that while coaching at an ACC school. George Welsh has done himself proud here. And what a recruiting coup for him today.
That's a big night for him. He may have lost his football game, but he may have lost the battle today, but he may have won the war. Getting Ronald Curry to commit to play football here.
3rd and 5. Virginia has stopped the clock the last time it can.
About George yesterday when we talked to him, he said, what did you do this summer? And he said, I read 10 books. And they weren't playbooks either.
No. Probably weren't paperback either. Clock running, 39 seconds to go. We can't tell you what the play clock is at. It's been out all night being kept on the field. But they'll probably let it run all the way down, then take the penalty and punt the football. And Terry Bowden, you have to be happy for him getting off to this start. May have been his own worst enemy when he won 20 games, but you've got to remember the effects of the probation have hurt this team the last 2 years. He lost scholarships, and that's very difficult to overcome.
He's got a lot of pressure on him because that last ball game of the year when you play Alabama is a big ball game that you've got to win.
And now he signals for a timeout so they don't lose the 5 yards, but only 15 seconds to go in the ball game.
They'll contend for the West, though. I think they've got
sure will.
Talent at LSU and Alabama, who looked very, very good. Alabama, I thought they looked very, very sound under Mike DeBose.
And we'll get to see them next week against Vanderbilt.
Mike, that'll be a good ball game.
I think so, too.
I really do. I think Vanderbilt's strong on defense. Will put the full-court press on Alabama.
We had Vanderbilt Notre Dame last year, and Vanderbilt played the Irish off their feet.
Jamie Duncan, an outstanding linebacker at Vanderbilt, leads that defense a lot like the Keo Spikes we saw here tonight.
Holmes will punt with 15 seconds to go in the game. Jones will drop deep, and again, Virginia with 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Got it out of there, did his job.
Jones at the 26 can only get back to the 30 with 7 seconds to go. So Auburn will win its opener, go to 1-0. And with the unrealistic expectations at most places in the country, including Auburn, fans of every team expect to go 11-0 every year. Anything less is a disappointment.
Well, I think, it's a little bit unfair. David Housel, who's the athletic director, I think is outstanding. You and I both think that. I think he's behind Terry Bowden totally, and I think he's given him every opportunity at that school, and I think they've got a very, very good football team.
7 seconds to go. Brooks throws over the middle, complete to Hawkins. And Ahmad Hawkins brought down at the 47-yard line, and that will do it. Our final score, Auburn 28, Virginia 17. For Mike Gottfried and Dr. Jerry Punch, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Charlottesville. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. SportsCenter is next.
Welcome to the SportsCenter Shopping Network, where we offer the best in sports video.
I think about it every day. Gosh, I think about it every hour.
Coupon Clippers, take note. Our manager special involves 2 teams, each chasing 1 goal. A goal each hopes to reach fairly. We're slashing prices. We've got the lowest ERA. We've also got the new styles, plus those that have come back into vogue.
It's exciting. It's fun to be a part of.
We value shoppers with a one-track mind. Cavalier spenders, more than welcome. Check out our pet department, where we offer 2 distinct types of tigers, exotic fish, and a walrus. While the antique department has some great finds, and how. For the bargain hunter, we offer a vast supply of damaged goods. Remember to pay on time or face financial consequences. We won't try to hustle you or push you out the door. Don't let a good buy slip away. Take in a free edition of SportsCenter next.
Hey there, welcome to SportsCenter alongside Kenny Mayne. I am Rich Eisen.
Hey, there's more ammo for Mom not to allow Junior to play tackle football. We'll run through all the NFL substitutions. Car racing's a contact sport, too. The up or down on Dale Earnhardt. But first, the Yanks, 6.5 down out east.
In the showdown in the Boogie Down. Now, we finally arrive on the big 4-game set with the Yankees and Orioles with nothing big to talk about, unless you consider Baltimore's big 6.5-game lead over New York or the Yankees' big 6-game lead for the wild card slot, one that allows them to avoid Seattle in the playoffs and thus bequeath the possible pleasure of seeing Randy Johnson twice in 5 games to the Orioles. And, of course, unless you consider Yankee starter David Wells. He got the start on the same mound that he earned Baltimore's only win of last year's American League Championship Series. And speaking of that, they're going to chain that off just in case any 12-year-olds from Old Tappan, New Jersey want to interfere. Derek Jeter can't get Geronimo Barroa's base hit to center. In the top of the 3rd, Aaron Ledesma makes it 2 on Orioles. It's tied at 2, and the Yankees hitting woes show its rear its ugly head again. Tino Martinez grounds to first to thwart a rally.
Capturing the national championship in 1988, the Irish were trying to become the school's first repeat champion since the 1946-47 squads. Standing in their way were the Trojans, led by quarterback Todd Marinovich. With more on the Notre Dame-USC matchup, here's Bill Patrick with his vintage SportsCenter report from 1989.
The USC defense is #1 in the nation against the rush, allowing only 37 yards a game. But the Irish have a powerful running attack that gains over 256 yards a game. The Trojans, who appear headed to the Rose Bowl for the 3rd straight year, need to elevate their game if they expect to beat the Fighting Irish.
It's a great opportunity to play a great football team, Notre Dame, the #1 team in the nation, the defending national champion, and a football team that I quite frankly think is the best I've seen in over 20 years of college coaching.
Rocket Ismail will be on USC's mind. Last year, he burned the Trojans with a 55-yard reception. And this year, he's returned 2 kickoffs and a punt for touchdowns. SC starts redshirt freshman Todd Marinovich at quarterback. He's thrown for 9 touchdowns while being intercepted only 3 times. Tony Rice, his opposite number, is an experienced signal caller who's equally dangerous as a passer or runner. Last year, his 65-yard first-quarter touchdown run against the Trojans set the tone for that game. The top-ranked Irish are favored at home over #9 USC, but in a rivalry as intense as this one, emotion will play a big part.
Prior to 1989, Notre Dame had a 6-game winning streak against USC. Later in the show, we'll profile Notre Dame receiver Raheem the Rocket Ismail. But right now, we present the 1989 College Football Showdown, Notre Dame and USC on ESPN Classic.
Welcome, those of you just joining us. 9th-ranked USC and #1 Notre Dame. Jim Nance along with Pat Hayden and John Dockery. We are 2 minutes and 13 seconds into this contest, and USC has just scored. Notre Dame received the opening kickoff, and Raghib Ismail fumbled the opening kickoff. The ball was jarred loose at the 40. Todd Marinovich, the quarterback for the Trojans, then marched his team 8 plays, 40 yards, and a touchdown pass moments ago to Larry Wallace. Alabama won that game 47-30 over Tennessee.
And Jim, here is the touchdown that Marinovich threw to Wallace. 2 plays earlier, they had thrown this same pattern. The blitz inside picked up well the post pattern. He was open on both plays. The earlier he let him too much. That ball was well thrown, and I think you have to be a tall quarterback to be able to throw this pass. It's a short post pattern. He is 6'4". He gets the ball all over the tall hands. Watch the protection here. Number 75, Tucker, is right there. The ball is well thrown. He led the receiver, and then the emotion of the freshman quarterback, Marinovich.
He's a big kid, 6'4", and you said all week he was born to play in this game.
Well, in 1962, his father played against the Fighting Irish, beat them 25-0. His uncle, Craig Fertig, in 1964, was a quarterback who led them to a win over the #1 ranked Fighting Irish.
Here's the kick. Ismail again. He's got a hole. Ismail is out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Stephon Pace was the last man, and he bumped them out after a 57-yard return.
Ismail is amazing, and what he doesn't waste any time. Every good kick returner just takes off and doesn't dance around in the hole. Picks up a couple of blocks. Bellis, number 8, gave him a nice block. Eilers, number 13, gave him a block. He outruns the kicker, and then only number 19, Pace, who made the stop. Watch the hole on the right side. Notre Dame does, Jim, put their 10 best blockers on their kickoff return team.
So the first play from scrimmage for #1 Notre Dame. Waters and Johnson in the backfield. Rice keeps it. Rice gets to the 31-yard line, a gain of 8. Let's meet Notre Dame. Tony Rice, the senior quarterback. Joined in the backfield by Anthony Johnson, who has scored 10 touchdowns this year, and Ricky Waters. Eilers and Ismail are the receivers. Tony Rice last year broke one 65 yards. It's the first score of the game against Southern Cal for a touchdown. Second and short. Anthony Johnson has the first down and rumbles to the 25-yard line. Mark Carrier, Delmar Chesley made the tackle. Up front for Southern Cal, Dan Owen, the nose tackle. Tim Ryan, Randy Hoare are on that line. Linebackers Scott Ross and Delmar Chesley. Michael Williams and Junior Seau. A great one for the other linebackers. First and 10 for Lou Holtz and Notre Dame. Running the option. Rice keeps again. Into secondary and down to the 17-yard line. Another gain of 8. Mark Carrier cut him under.
What Lou Holtz likes to do early in every ball game is just feel out a defense. First he lines up and sees how he's going to get deep at some point in the game. Then he sees how you're going to defend the option, and then formations, and then some wishbone. And if you can't defend any of those, he'll keep coming back to it.
Notre Dame's offensive line, Mike Helt is the center. A pair of Tims at guard, Tim Ryan, Tim Grunhard. And the tackles, Mike Brennan, Dean Brown. Derek Brown is the tight end, sophomore from Florida. Tim Ryan on the offensive line for Notre Dame, and a Tim Ryan at defensive tackle for USC. Second, we'll call it 3. Johnson, as he does so often, bulldozes his way for the first down. The opening kick, Pat. USC kicked to Ismail.
And they kicked it very high. He caught the ball on about the 25-yard line. He was hit there, and Larry Smith, the head coach, had challenged his return teams against Ismail and said they were going to defend against him. But here is the touchdown, the post pattern to number 82, Larry Wallace. Good protection. The tall quarterback at 6'4" is able to get the ball over the outstretched arms of the Irish defense.
Tulio had made the fumble recovery. It's 7-0 USC. Notre Dame threatening. 1st and 10. Ismail running from the tailback spot. Gets to the 11. USC always traditionally great in the backfield. It's defensive backfield. And they today bring out Dwayne Garner, Ernest Spears, and a pair of safeties, Cleveland Coulter and Mark Carrier.
And it's going to be really like a one-on-one game between Mark Carrier and the quarterback, Tony Rice. He has a responsibility in the option plays to go to the quarterback to the pitch man. So Carrier versus Rice.
Tony Smith at the bottom of your screen. Ismail in a slot left. Waters back at tailback. 2nd and 7 for Notre Dame. Option left. Rice keeps, pitches late. Waters has it and gets to the 6-yard line. Call it the 7. Last second pitch by Tony Rice.
There's a lot of different ways that Tony Rice can beat you. Some people say he doesn't throw the ball with great accuracy, but his plays like this, what really should have been a negative play, a 4-yard loss. He breaks right through the tackle and then makes a late pitch to Ricky Waters. It was only a hustling play there by Chesley, number 53, that prevented the touchdown, but that's a great play there by Tony Rice.
That pitch went right past the extended arm of Michael Williams. It's 3rd down for the Irish. Inside of the 10. Rice still has it. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Took just a little more than 3 minutes to counter USC's touchdown. Hendrick can tie it with the extra point. 7-7 with 9 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first quarter.
Jim, the sign of a good football team is a team that overcomes some adversity. Notre Dame had fumbled on the opening kickoff. USC scored, but they came right back on their first possession. Good penetration there. Tony Rice again took the ball away from the fullback, and then it was just determined, just fought his way into the end zone. And then the emotion of head coach Lou Holtz. He knows how important this game is.
This ESPN Classic program is presented by Discover Card for the slightly smarter consumer.
Every time you use your Discover Card, Discover will make a donation to America's relief efforts until we reach our goal of $5 million. Just by doing what you do every day, you can help the victims and families of September 11th. To find out more, call 1-800-DISCOVER or go to discovercard.com.
We saw the emotions that erupted prior to this game. And now we've really just started. And it's already 7-7. USC and Notre Dame. Let's take another look at the Tony Rice touchdown.
The eyes of Tony Rice this time. He saw the pressure there by the outside linebacker, Sayal, number 55. He took the ball right out of the fullback's stomach, and then the power, the strength, and the determination. That's what makes Tony Rice have won 18 games in a row, he and his team.
That's the first rushing touchdown this year allowed by USC as Hendrick's kick goes out of bounds. Todd Marinovich, we spoke with him yesterday. He wanted to come out here and have success quickly to try to quiet this capacity crowd.
Quieting that crowd as soon as I can. That's the most fun thing about playing away, is everyone's all fired up at kickoff and going in and marching right down the field and scoring. You can hear a pin drop, and that's what I want to hear after we get the ball.
Well, he was 3 for 6 on that opening possession, including the touchdown pass.
It's really amazing as a freshman. You talk to the Southern Cal coaches this week. Here is a guy starting his first Southern Cal Notre Dame game, and yet they are actually counting on him winning this game for them. Tall task for a young man.
Ever since a victory in the 4th game of the season against Washington State, he has played with extreme confidence. Has not thrown an interception in his last 93 passes.
You know, the Southern Cal coaches did a nice job, Jim, of bringing him along slowly. In their first game against Illinois, they didn't ask much of him, but as each week has gone on, they've asked more and more of Marinovich as he's thrown the ball downfield.
Back-to-back huge wins by the Texas Longhorns. Coach David McWilliams, he was getting some heat down in Austin, and that certainly will cool things off after a victory last week against Oklahoma, and now today handing Arkansas its first loss of the year. Texas football back. Here's the return. It's Bruce Luisi, backup tailback, returning it to the 37-yard line. Let's get another report from John Dockery, and this about the fight prior to the game. John?
Jim, let me tell you exactly what happened. Notre Dame lined up after the warm-ups along the goal line here. USC was running off the field, and they challenged USC to go around them. Of course, players in their frame of mind before the game wouldn't do that. It became a challenge. USC couldn't get directly to the tunnel. Pushing and shoving broke out, and then some players went down. They were kicked. There were blows thrown. Actually, Lou Holtz was hit and went to the ground, too. I'll have more in a minute, Jim.
All right, Doc. 1st and 10. Marinovich rolling and throwing. Jackson through his... John Jackson off his fingertips. Todd Light, number 1, almost raced it back.
Todd Light, number 1, has had a sensational year thus far with the 5 interceptions. He's got great confidence as he plays the wide side of the field. Number 1, Todd Light, always plays to the field, and he's great at reading patterns. You see where his head is? His eyes are looking right inside of the cornerback. He reads the pattern and steps up to make the play.
2nd down and 10. Holt, the lone setback. Marinovich going long and over the head of John Jackson. Pat Terrell was in the secondary on him. USC is 2-4 against Notre Dame when the Irish have been ranked number 1. 25 years ago, Pat, you spoke about it earlier, Craig Furtick in the final 2 minutes threw a touchdown pass to Rod Sherman as USC came back from 17-0 to win over number 1 Notre Dame. That's 25 years ago. 3rd and 10. Kowalkowski races him out of there. Irvin's changing direction and might be a yard short of the first. Well, they bill him as a slashy, gutsy type runner, and he made some great moves to get near the first down.
When you run a screen pass, you want to drop back, but I think Marinovich really gave this screen away by dropping back a little bit too far. He's scrambling back, and all of a sudden, I think the defense felt the screen a little bit earlier than they ordinarily would, but Ricky Irvin did a great job of making a lot of guys miss.
Now they spot it at the 45. It's 4th and 2. Mark Preston will punt for USC. They use 2 punters. Ismail is back deep. It's a short punt. Ismail fumbles, and it's caught in the air. Caught in the air by USC's Junior Seau. There is a flag down near midfield. The recovery near the 15. A knee went down.
And Jim, I got to tell you, there is a lot of wind out there, and that is what happened. The ball is swirling around. I was talking to kickers and punt receivers before the game. The holding call against Notre Dame.
It'll be USC football at the 15-yard line.
Now, Ismail returned a punt for a touchdown last week, but that was just misjudged. It was misjudged because the ball was swirling. It hit his shoulder pads, and then Junior Seau was there to make the play. Again, Larry Smith all week long has stressed coverage on kickoffs and punt returns against Raghib Ismail.
Well, that's 2 turnovers by the Rocket here in the first quarter. The first one had really nothing to do with the wind. Right. This one was a judgment error with the wind.
And remember the game a year ago, really the difference was the 4 turnovers by Southern Cal. And thus far, Notre Dame has 2 in the first period.
Wellman to the right, Jackson to the left. 1st and 10 USC. Marinovich looking Jackson's way. Now will throw short. Really just dumping it off, getting rid of it. Jackson was in the area. Bob Dole putting pressure on Marinovich.
Marinovich plays with a nonchalance of a much older player. He is only a freshman. You're not going to see him take many sacks, and he does not throw interceptions. That's really ordinarily the sign of a much older player.
We're talking about that big win against Washington State. He came back, and the Gipper, Ronald Reagan, made a phone call to him and said that was one of the most exciting comebacks I've ever seen. 18-17 victory. Marinovich throwing for a 2-point conversion in the final seconds. Here he goes to Jackson. Jackson slashes in for the touchdown for USC. Second touchdown pass of the quarter for Todd Marinovich. This one covering 15 yards. We're midway through the opening quarter, and it's already 13-7, 3 touchdowns. Rodriguez will attempt the extra point for the Trojans. And the